ahead and get started here, and let's do the damn thing. What's my name? What's my name? Every time I say it, I can't help it but say that. There we go. Hello. Okay, awesome. We are now streaming on Twitch and YouTube. All right. So if you're a dedicated Twitcher and tuber, go ahead and report to duty. All right. I appreciate you. Now, with that being said, thank you so much for being here with me tonight on this beautiful Wednesday. Guys, we're already halfway there. We're halfway there. All right. We halfway made it. All right. So while you are here, I just ask that everyone is an active participant. We do all of the good things. Let's tap, tap, tap the screen, share the live. All right, let's also go ahead and knock out these penny gift goals and make sure that we're sending our daily heart me. It's only 1 penny. It helps keeps us on the FYP page so that we can have these conversations. All right. Now that's enough for the niceties. Okay. Okay. All right. So my people, you know who you are. I love you. Let's just keep doing all of the good things. Now, with that being said, Trump supporters, get in the box. Don't be pussies tonight. Get in the box. All right. Get in the box so that we can have a conversation. All right. Again, you know, you get 3 options here. We can do a civil conversation, a decent discourse, or we can do a heated exchange. The choice is yours. I'm always going to choose civil, but you know, I follow your lead. So with that being said, if you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. Get in the box. All right. We want to talk about all other things. Donald Trump tried to literally tried to fire, which he knew was outside of his purview. He can't do it. It's outside of his authority. He can't fire a sitting governor of the Federal Reserve Board. He just can't do it. He can't do it. So now she's going to sue him. That's Linda Cook for you guys. All right. Shout out to Linda Cook. All right. Shout out to that Black queen. All right. So yeah. And then what else has he tried to do? He did talk about, we didn't get to talk about this yesterday. He wants to do flag burnings and make it a punishable offense by up to 1 year in jail. But even in his executive order, he didn't even give that verbiage because he knows that burning the flag is not a crime. So he literally said out of his own mouth that they will find other federal offenses to charge them with. So they're just going to be making up shit. But this is the guy that you voted for. I want you all to come up here and defend it. Defend it. It's really easy. Hi, Wizard. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
You did? Okay. All right. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
26.
26. All right. You said that you sent me a message. What message did you send?
Oh, I meant like in the chat. I was sending messages asking to be put on the stream. Yeah, I'm pretty new to TikTok. I just created this account. So.
Oh, okay. All righty then. Okay, with that being said, you voted for Donald Trump. All right. I do think that MAGA is scared to defend Trump. You get the opportunity to prove me wrong. Why'd you vote for him?
Primarily for immigration.
For immigration. All right. So you basically want to defend Donald Trump's stance on immigration tonight?
Yes.
Okay. All right. The floor is yours. Let's see what happens.
So if we can jump back to a little bit under a year ago when the debates were happening, there was a lot of discourse around passing a bill in order to secure the border. That was the language that was being presented at the time.
The Langford bill, yeah.
Yes, they were like, we have to pass this bill to secure the border. We have to pass this bill to be able to stop the flow of migrants. And as soon as he got into office, within the first week, the border was shut down. Ultimately, a bill was passed to provide for more funding for the wall and for border agents. But the flow of migrants stopped almost immediately through enforcement of already pre-existing laws that were on the books.
No.
And so,
go ahead. We're all listening. None of what you're saying is actually true, but you can go ahead.
So the laws that were already on the books were enforced immediately. Declaring of a national emergency for immigration.
Mm-hmm.
It gave them extra powers to be able to go and shut it down, and so they ultimately have passed. They have passed the bill to provide for the funding for the wall and for the ICE program to be ramped up. And so
ICE doesn't do anything with the border. But
right. But that's the people who got in for the last time. What I'm saying is, without the bill being passed on the front end, they already were able to secure the border.
Okay. Right. Okay, we hear you. Okay, so just a few things to actually address there. All right, the border is in fact not closed at all. All right. Our border's not closed. It definitely is open. All right. What Donald Trump has actually done is that he has quelled legal immigration, is what he's done. He hasn't actually decreased illegal immigration, as you all call it. He's actually stopped legal immigration, so asylum seekers at the southern border is what he's done. I believe that, let me see here. I need to get the number for you. Okay. Because it has decreased by a lot. So I know he's done that. And then what else has he actually done? He also, in regards to legal immigration, has stopped refugee programs. He's also removed the temporary protected status of about, I want to say about 200 Haitians, Nicaraguans, Chileans, and not Chileans, but Cubans and Venezuelans. So there's that. So he actually hasn't improved anything. He hasn't.
I would actually turn your attention to cbp.gov for the official governmental statistics from Customs and Border Protection.
Yeah, you're thinking about crossings and everything, but with the United States being in the middle of a humanitarian crisis, because we are on the watch list now due to Donald Trump's basically efforts with immigration, because there aren't any policies. Actually, policies would be actual plans, laws, things on that we have on the books. We don't have that because you don't legislate via executive action.
Yes.
With the
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, so with the plans or whatever that he has in place, we are actually not a country that people want to come to right now. And also, asylum seeking again is down. And that's typically what happens at the southern border of the United States. So there's that. So that's why it appears to you that the border is closed. It's not closed. It never was closed. Donald Trump never passed any law. Well, I could say Congress never passed any law. Donald Trump never signed anything to close the border. What he did do with his emergency declaration of an invasion is at the southern border is lie. That's what he did do. He lied.
Well, regardless of whether or not you believe it was true, I mean, he did declare that emergency. It did give him emergency powers, and the numbers
Actually, it
are
didn't
down.
though.
His
But what numbers
are
are down though? You keep saying the numbers are down, but what numbers are down?
Land border encounters.
You do know what? I'm sorry. Do you know what an encounter is?
Enlighten me.
Okay, an encounter is just contact at the border. That's all. It's just coming into contact with CBP at the border. It does not mean that the person actually crossed into the United States. And one person can be counted multiple times as an encounter within the same week.
Well, I'll concede that to you. If we go year over year, for July, it was 7,832. The year prior was 104,000. The year prior to that is 183,000. The year prior to that is 200,000. And that's just for the month of July.
And if you, again, understand what is currently going on in regards to the United States, then you can understand why the numbers are down. Think about it like this. All right, put it into this frame. You remember 2020, right? When we had the pandemic?
Yep.
Do you know what Title 42 is?
Title 42. I've heard about it.
Okay.
What's Title 42?
So Title 42 basically did actually close the border. Title 42 is something that we are able to put in place to stop border crossings due to a public health emergency. And at the time we did have one, which was a global pandemic, right? Okay. So when Joe Biden, so that's why you all like to say that under Donald Trump, crossings were down. No, crossings necessarily weren't down. We were just in the midst of a pandemic, a global emergency, a global illness.
Well,
so
even,
they weren't down. But hold on, I want to tell you something.
CBP website, I pulled up for 2020, and it's still got 30,000 in the month of March, 47,000. Yeah, encounters.
Because they were turning people away, dear. I want you to understand the difference between a crossing and an encounter. A encounter is literally coming into contact with someone at the border. A crossing is someone who actually crossed the border and made it into the United States. All right. So you got to, it would make sense if we could stop referencing the encounters because at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean anything. Now, if you want to find some information about crossings, by all means, I'd be happy to look at it for you. But with that being said, they weren't being allowed to actually enter into the United States due to the public health crisis. What happened is Joe Biden did try to keep Title 42 when he came into office, but he was told that he could not because we were no longer under any public health threat. Right. So instead of fighting it, what Joe Biden did was he sat on it for a while and then he just accepted it. And so once Title 42 was no longer in place, what ended up happening is that we saw an influx of crossings at the border. Right. So with that information, we saw the influx of crossing once we no longer had Title 42 in place. So with Donald Trump not passing any actual legislation to close the border and to actually stop border crossings, all right, what happens when he's no longer president? When he's no longer in office, what makes you all think that the border, we just won't have another influx?
Well, because they just secured funding to complete the rest of the border bill.
I'm sorry, the border wall is what you were talking about?
Yes.
Okay, I promise you I'm not being a smart ass. I promise you I'm not. But are you familiar with ladders? Are you familiar with shovels? Do you know that dude, what's his name, El Chapo? He actually built tunnels. He built tunnels. No, don't skedaddle, wizard.
Have a great day.
You too. I'm just saying, guys, I want you all to think about it while he figures out how to leave. It's an X at the top. You'll be able to figure it out. I just want you all to think about this, right? Think about this. We have ladders. People can climb. All right. This wall is a gimmick. All right. Donald Trump did not invent the border wall. He didn't. All right. The border wall has actually been around in different iterations since I think the 1910s. Like, it's been around for a very, very long time. And so my whole thing is, why are we pretending that this border wall is going to be something great that's going to magically stop border crossings? I just want y'all to really think about that and just be extremely serious with yourselves. All I could say to Wizard is, Wizard, find something else to hang your hat on. That's it. Anywho, if you voted for Donald Trump, get in the box. Get in the box. Let's have a conversation, because why not? Why not? Let's have some fun. Okay, let's see if this person loads. Yeah, I like no crossings is this great thing. It's not. He's literally preventing legal immigration. Check out the fees that he's now charging to even get asylum here in this country. He's basically gonna price people out of immigrating to the United States of America. So there's that. All right. Hi, TikTok driver. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Huh?
Oh, okay. You're kind of loud. TikTok driver, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Sorry, mommy. No, me no vote for Donald Trump. I couldn't vote.
Oh, okay. All right, love. Have a good night. Thanks for tapping.
Yeah, mom.
Yeah, man. Bumbleclot. Where's Liv when I need him? What's up, Santana?
Hey, I'm gonna get out of the way. I just wanted to speak to your chat for a moment, if I could.
Okie dokie.
All right. Hey, so to all the Trump supporters, you guys may wonder why you keep getting muted. It's because I'm tired of you all being bitches, right? I'm honestly literally sick of it. You guys sit in the chat and you talk so much shit. Like, you talk so much shit based on pure stupidity. People say the most unintelligent stuff and you all just cheer it on because you have no fucking idea what's going on. But you guys are so brave in the chat, and I am working overtime to mute every single one of you. I fucking refuse to let you spew stupidity from the chat. You get in the box and you say your stupid shit on live in front of everybody else, or you don't say it at all. You don't say it at all. I'm sick of it. You guys run around here across this app all day and you crash the fuck out because you don't know anything. And then you sit in chat and you sit there and you type the dumb shit that you do know, the stupid shit that you do know. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Grow a pair and get in the box, or you don't get to speak. I am muting I'm working so hard and so fast. And I say the same thing every single time. Get in the box. Either you get in the box or you don't get to say shit in the chat. Period. With that being said, I'm gonna get out of the way.
Oh, can you do a mod announcement before you go, please? I will give you $1 for your time.
Okay. How about 2 hamburgers tomorrow for what is it? What is it? 2 hamburgers. I will gladly pay you 2 hamburgers tomorrow. Yeah. No, guys, it's 275 people hanging out. First and foremost, if you're not sent your daily heart, go and send it. It's only 1 coin. It'll help Boots Alive, push Eric out to the FYP. Maybe if you guys actually knock out like the goals and stuff, we'll get some real Trump supporters in here that aren't a bunch of bitches, and someone that will actually be able to come and have a debate, and even at the very least, substantiate a point. But with that being said, protect the live, because I'm kind of crashing right now, and we need to make sure we're doing all the good things. Tap the screen, share the live. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 50,000 likes. Let's get the shares up to at least 50 shares. Don't spam share. If everybody can share it out maybe once or twice, it'll be good. And then Erica's going to keep resetting the gift goal. And if we keep knocking those little 1-cent goals out, it'll push us out. And last but not least, she does have a nightly donation goal of $150. Venmo, PayPal, she even has a Zelle. Everything with Erica. If everyone chips in $1, we can go ahead and take care of that nightly gift goal immediately. So with that being said, again, do all the wonderful things. These are These are echo chambers, not even worth joining. Guess what? Join these nuts in your mouth. Mute.
Jesus Christ.
I'm legitimately not playing games with you guys. Like, seriously.
What are we doing?
Like, I'm so sick of. I'm sorry. So sick of you guys being bitches. You don't know anything, and you're just a bunch of keyboard warriors who were brave in the chat. If you can't get in a box, then shut the fuck up. Period.
Stop being NPCs. Get in the box. Let's have a chat.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like Santana wants heated exchanges. I'm like, civil conversations, please.
I'm so irritated because there's so many of them in here, but none of them will request up.
Let's see what we have here. Let's see what happens. All right. Thanks, bro.
Yep.
Appreciate you. Draw some hearts in the chat for Santana, but only like 2. Don't do a lot. Just 2. All right. Yes, guys, please, let's keep doing all of the good things. Also, how can I forget you over there? Hi, YouTube. Hi, tubers. Hi. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I see Jim over there. Kevin. I'm not sure. These are new people. Draka, Jandy, Baby Blue. Baby Blue is an A1 since day one. Hey, Baby Blue. All right. So, guys, we are joined by Raider. Hi, Raider. How are you?
Hello. I'm just wondering why he cares so much what people write in the chat. I mean, your premise here
That's
is
my top mod.
Well, your premise is to get people up here.
Yeah.
Because people like watching this stuff. You're rarely.
Did you vote for Trump, sir?
Yes, I did. You're rarely going to change.
All right. Would you like to have a conversation?
What was that?
Would you like to have a conversation?
Yeah, but first I'd like you to listen to me when I say.
I don't think your gripe is with me, though. I think your gripe is with my moderator.
It is. Hey, really quick, Raider. Hey, Raider, did it work? Are you up here? You're up there, right? So stop whining like a little bitch and actually
Shut up. Shut up. You're the bitch.
Exactly. Hey, right now you're my bitch. You see that?
Oh,
you see that? Now you don't get to speak unless I say you can speak. You see that? That's how it works. Now I'm gonna send you an invite. There you go. Listen. Actually try to have a debate. If you got an opinion, share your opinion on the live. No one gives a look. There you go. And you ran.
No, that's skedaddle. You don't have to skedaddle. Come back.
This is who they are. Oh, typical libs. Cool. I'm sending you a request to get in a box, and I'm muting you, and boom. Like, I'm not playing with you guys. I'm so. You guys did all of this. You did all of this. And yet you are so scared to actually stand on business.
Get in the box. Just get in the box, guys. It's not hard. I just want to have a conversation. I don't even yell at people. That's why I have mods. My mods do the yelling for me. They do. All right. Yeah, my mods are who you should be like afraid of. Me, you shouldn't be afraid of me. I'm cool.
Hey, what's up, mod?
You should speak to the host first.
You should. It's kind of rude.
Speak to the what? Host?
The host. Hi, that's me.
Hello, host.
Hi, my name's Erica. What's your name?
Hi. Hey, here,
What's
let
your
me
name?
start. I'm originally from California, born
What's
and
your name?
raised. My name is Dylan. Originally from
Joe?
California, born and raised.
What's
I
your
grew up
name?
by the border.
Dylan. He said his name is Dylan.
Oh,
Dylan,
Dylan. I
yes.
thought his name was Joe. Okay.
Dylan.
All right. So, Dylan, quick question. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did, yes, and I also voted
Okay.
for Obama.
Ooh, we all did. Quick question. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I am 35.
35? Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So the prompt says that MAGA is scared to defend Trump. All right. You do have the opportunity to prove me wrong. All right.
Okay.
What are you looking to defend today?
I just want to defend all the good stuff he's done for the country, like secure the border and help out veterans.
How about veterans?
Help out veterans, yes, he has.
How has he done that?
Well, he made this program. It's where they were veterans. Instead of live on base, they live out of base. I don't know if you've heard about this, but it's a big program. I've got a bunch of veteran buddies, and they live off of base.
Did you just burp?
Yeah, I did burp. Yeah, sorry.
That's nasty. Say excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, but
Ew.
yeah, I think he's done a bunch of great stuff. Yes, he has.
Go ahead. You were listening to the stuff that he's done. I didn't hear anything. You said something about
like,
a program
he
for people that
secured the
live off a base.
border,
No,
he's,
dear. We're talking about the VA.
the VA. Yeah. He I'm not ex-military, but I have a bunch of friends are, and yeah, he did this one thing for housing for veterans. It's like where they live out of base or whatever. I don't know too much about it, but yeah, they said it's a great thing for veterans. So how can't you support that?
Dylan, do not. I'm just a messenger. Sometimes people send me donations and they have messages along with them. I just got one. Thank you, John, for the $2. I just want you to hear this.
Mhm.
Let it go in one ear and out the other, okay?
Okay.
All right. John says Trump puts the D in Dylan. Thank you, John, for the $2. Everyone draw some hearts in the chat for John. Thank you. All right, guys, we're 148 away from our daily donation goal. 148 away from our daily donation goal. Thank you so much, John. Pay links are in the bio. Everything with Erica is the name, PayPal and Venmo. I appreciate you all. Okay, so go on, Dylan. You were saying?
Yeah, and just also, he's pro free speech stuff, which I'm totally for, and pro right to bear arms and stuff, which I'm totally for, and yeah.
Okay. All right. So in regards to veterans, what I like to say about Donald Trump is that he does this thing to them where he, kind of like gives them a present in one hand, while in the other hand, he's like stabbing them in the back.
Mm.
That's what he does. Because yes, Donald Trump has increased funding for the VA. He has. That's not a lie. He has done that.
Yeah, I'm not ex-military or nothing. This is just something I know
No,
from friends and stuff like that.
No, I understand. But you did mention it, and it's something that we want to talk about because everybody wants to come up here and talk about immigration. It's like, are we going to have the immigration conversation 10 times in one night? No. So let's talk about veterans. So with Donald Trump, again, a gift in one hand, a knife in the other, right? So while Donald Trump has actually increased the VA's budget by quite a significant amount, he's also cut their staffing across the board. That would be for doctors, caregivers, also psychiatrists and psychologists, nurses, therapy, like the whole gamut. He's cut their staffing, all right, by what was it? It was over 1,000 of them gone. And so what that is creating inside of the VA, and I know that you won't get to experience this because you're not a veteran, is creating longer wait times for them. Not just wait times for like actually seeing your doctor on a day of your appointment, but wait times to actually have an appointment. And so what's happening is that they're having to go out and seek care elsewhere. So they're having to do that because it could take months for them to actually see a doctor. He also has gotten rid of the VASP program, which was a foreclosure program, a foreclosure assistance program, where if you are a veteran and you were experiencing foreclosure, they would actually pay your mortgage current for you, so you wouldn't be houseless. But with the removal of the VASP program, that's VASP, what's ended up happening is that over 40,000 veterans and their families are at risk of houselessness. So there's that. Again, a gift in one hand, the knife in the other. All right. And so when you think about that Donald Trump on paper is helping veterans, but behind closed door, he's actually hurting them. How can you defend that?
I don't think he's hurting them, honestly, because I don't know. All my veteran buddies don't really say anything bad about him. I mean,
Do they know?
Would, definitely.
So ask them. Go ask them. Like, ask your veteran buddies. Like, hey, do you know about VASP? All right, VASP. All right, I'm going to give you what the acronym stands for because I got a lot of information inside my brain. All right, it's the Veterans Affairs Servicing Purchase Program is what it is. So VASP. Think of it like as WASP, but with a V. Go ahead, Santana.
I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'll just say, Donald Trump doesn't care about veterans. That's why he calls them suckers and losers. That's why he doesn't respect them and actually kicks them out of the military. That's why he has our military literally walking around DC picking up trash. He uses them as pawns, and he does things like have them march in his ridiculous military day parade. He doesn't go to their grave sites. He doesn't even see fallen soldiers come in. He sends Pete Hegseth. So literally Donald Trump doesn't care about soldiers. But what I will say is, for MAGA, you want all of you, that's been proven false. Hey, false these nuts in your mouth. How about that? Get in the box. For everyone that's down there in the chat that keeps talking, I will continue to mute you because no one cares what you have to say in the chat. Dylan, I'm giving your First Amendment right back. I will unmute you, and you have the ability, once you finish up this conversation, to chat in the chat because you were brave enough to get in the box. Everyone else, I'm dead serious. Dead serious. I'm not playing these games with you tonight.
Rewarded for your bravery.
Yeah.
All right.
So and Vegas Nights, yes, absolutely. I went to school. Have multiple degrees. Get in the box, bitch. Anyway, I'm gonna drop.
Tap the screen, y'all. Okay. Thank you, Santana.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So yeah, speaking on like Dylan, speaking on what Santana did mention about kicking veterans, like kicking them out of the military. All right. He did do that. He basically told transgendered service members that they had to leave. They had to get out. And then not only did he tell them that they had to get out of the military, that they could no longer serve. All right. He also, in the Air Force, all right, made it so that those who did choose early retirement don't get their retirement benefits. They're not going to get their money. Yeah. Did you hear about that?
Negative, I did not.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what he did. Do you think that a person, regardless of their gender identity, all right, if they serve their country, that they should get their just due? They should get their benefits?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay. I thought so. I thought you would. All right. I think the same thing. All right. So I wouldn't be able to defend Donald Trump when it came to, supporting our troops and supporting our veterans because he does not care about them. He's taking away their livelihood. Those who wanted to make a career out of the military no longer can do that because they're being kicked out. Those who planned on using their retirement money to maybe, travel the country, pay bills, take care of their kids or their grandkids, set up a college fund, so on and so forth, whatever it was they were planning to do with their retirement money, they can't do it now. And that can have a cascading effect on people because if they don't have that income, right, how do they pay their bills? Like, these are things that we have to think of.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I could see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Hmm.
You know, I don't know. I don't like I said. I don't got much talked about it. I'm not a veteran. My brother is a veteran.
Hmm. What else
Um,
did you support Trump on then? You mentioned immigration, but again, we had the immigration conversation 37 times. Like, I think if I have
yeah.
an immigration conversation with you, it'll be the 50th time this week. So the numbers just
Yeah.
keeps going up. But yeah. So what else did you support him on?
I do support that he is brave and he's not scared to be a pussy. Simply.
He's not scared to be a pussy?
Yeah, like if someone threatens us, he'll make it known that he is in power and he can, you know, whoever it is,
Wait, do you
right?
know the hey Chewy? Thank you for the money gun. Oh, I gotta do a money gun sound. Hold on. Do you know what a pussy is?
Yes, I know what a pussy is. Yes.
You do? So what you mean he's not afraid to be a pussy?
Yeah.
A pussy not a good thing. A pussy means to be scared.
Yeah, no, I mean he is not a pussy, is what I'm trying
Oh,
to
okay. All right. All right. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure.
Yeah,
Just want to
no,
make
he's
sure.
just, I don't know. He's just I like him personally. Like I said, I mean I'm from California and I moved to Texas just because
Are you
I
familiar with
wouldn't want to raise a family in California because first of all I couldn't afford it. You know. Second of all, I couldn't defend my family in California. In Texas I can, but I wouldn't in California.
you can own firearms in California. You just have to go through the
I that's
process
where
to
I got
do
my
so.
firearm, but
You just can't open carry in California.
you
But
can't.
anywho, you said that Trump. I'm gonna word it correctly for you. You said that Trump isn't afraid to be a pussy, is what you said.
No,
But
I didn't say, no, I did not say that.
you
I said he's not
literally
a
said
pussy.
that. You said you okay. Oh my god.
He is not a
Okay.
pussy, is what I meant to say.
All
Maybe I
right.
did.
He's not a
He is
pussy.
not.
Okay, we get it. Um. So with that being said, he is.
He is not. No, he is not a pussy.
Yeah, he is. He doesn't stand up to anyone. He doesn't stand up to anyone except for women. That's it. That's
Except for
it.
women.
Because even Gavin Newsom, that's what he called Gavin Newsom, but he wouldn't call Gavin Newsom that to his face. He literally was talking shit about Gavin Newsom during the LA protest, and then once he had to meet Gavin Newsom face to face, it was nothing but nice to meet you, glad to see you, and wanted to talk and just nothing. He did absolutely nothing. He did nothing. The same thing with Putin.
Yeah, he did.
He capitulates to Putin. How?
What do you mean how? He told him that half California burned down. It's his fault.
I'm going to try it again. Donald Trump is a pussy. Donald Trump has Twitter fingers. Donald Trump will literally say anything in front of a camera, but when he is face to face with people, Donald Trump is mum. He's soft as cotton candy. Putin is the one who was running that meeting in Alaska. He literally spent more time at a factory on the west coast of Alaska than he did with Donald Trump. Putin did the talking, Putin set the terms.
No,
that is why. I'm sorry, what was that, huh?
I would disagree.
You would disagree? Yeah. So let me know. Can you provide us some evidence prior to the meeting in Alaska where Donald Trump said that Ukraine should give up his land?
No, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know.
Exactly, because he didn't. He didn't. He always talked about a ceasefire.
I don't watch the news.
What do you get your information from then?
Just everyday stuff. I don't even have cable TV.
When you say everyday stuff, what do you mean everyday stuff?
Just TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, mainly Twitter.
You use social media as your primary news source?
Yeah, I don't have cable.
No. You have a smartphone though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would suggest that you stop doing that. And I'm saying that sincerely. Like, fuck all the other stuff. Like, stop getting your news from social media like that. Or it's like social media can be a place to start, but if you don't dig deeper into what it is that you're reading and hearing on social media, you're bound to be not just misinformed, and that means basically having information relayed incorrectly to you, but you're also more likely to be disinformed, which means that you can fall for propaganda. And you don't want to fall for
No.
propaganda, which is
I think
outright lies.
I think the news is propaganda.
No, the news is not propaganda. And I could say, well, I would say it depends on where you get your news from. If you get your news from like Fox, then yeah, it's propaganda. If you're getting it from Newsmax and Breitbart,
No, CNN.
Yeah.
I know a dude that worked for CNN, and he straight up told me
who is using
Straight
CNN as a
news.
source? You
Just-
say you
yeah.
say you get your news from TikTok, right?
Twitter. Yeah.
Okay. No, you mentioned TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter, and you said mostly Twitter. So my question for you is like, do you watch a lot of different debate lives, like debate talk?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Little bit.
Who do you watch?
I watch Charlie Kirk. Let's see who else. Matt Walsh.
Do you watch anyone that's like on the left?
A little bit on TikTok. Yeah. What's his name? Dean.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's just use Dean then. All right. Have you ever heard Dean cite CNN?
No, probably not.
Exactly. You're never going to hear Santana cite CNN. I'm never going to cite CNN. Liv isn't going to do it. Now there's Kiana. Parker's not going to do it. Like Chewy's not going to cite CNN. Like nobody's going to cite CNN. I don't know. And I think that's the thing. See, you fell for that. You fell for it that we're getting our information from CNN when that's not true. All right. The sources that we would prefer to use when it comes to the news is like the Associated Press, Reuters, BBC, Al Jazeera, sources like that, NPR, PBS. All right. Unbiased sources. So nonpartisan sources.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So stop getting your news from Twitter because again, you're more likely to fall for
Twitter's not biased,
misinformation.
Oh, Twitter biased. That's like saying TikTok's not biased.
Are you familiar with what an algorithm is?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What's the algorithm? I'm saying that, like
watching keeps popping up.
Yeah, you create what it is that you see, love. You curate it. You curate your algorithm. All right.
Yeah.
So there's that. All right. Also try. I always forget the darn going name. It's all something. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna write it down one day. But ground news is also good to use because it lets you know where the sources lean. So if it's left, right, or center. All right. So you can use that. What is it called? Is it All Sides? I think it's All Sides. I'm never gonna remember it. But you stop using Twitter. Twitter is biased. Like, yeah, just it is All Sides. Thank you very much. I always forget it, but there it is. Yeah, Twitter's super biased. But is there anything else that you wanted to defend Donald Trump on? Because he's definitely not strong. I mean, do you remember his first term when he was doing the meeting with the UN and he called the United States the strongest nation in the world or some crap, and they all laughed at him, and he said, wasn't expecting that response. Like, what were you expecting? Like, you're goofy. So they laughed. He made a joke. They ha-ha.
What was that? I'm sorry.
That was during the UN meeting and during his first term. Yeah. All the other leaders laughed at him. Do you remember that?
No, I don't actually.
You don't remember that? Oh, okay. Do you ever remember other leaders laughing at President Obama or Joe Biden? Hell, even George Bush. They didn't even laugh at George Bush.
No, negative. I don't.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, I think I might want to play it just to see. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I want to play it just so you can see it.
2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
It's because he's a silly pants. They hurt his feelings. They hurt his peepees. Yeah. That was over 30 world leaders laughing at the president of the United States. Yeah. He's not this brave, respected, strong man. He's not Putin. All right. He's not Putin. So there's that. All right. So I can give you a moment if you want to think about it, think of something else that you want to defend. But, I mean, Donald Trump's pretty indefensible, and you haven't proved me wrong. No one has yet. Okay. So, guys, with that being said, I'm just going to place you on mute, Dylan. All right. With that being said, guys, let's keep tapping the screen. We have over 400 people in here. We're at 66,000 likes. Let's go ahead and get it up to 100,000 likes. All right. I don't know what we're working on, but continue to do all of the good things, guys. Let's go ahead and knock out the tiny dinies. We're going to go ahead and go for the tiny dinies, knock those out. And I have a few things to actually read off that I saw. Boom, boom, boom. Let me see here. Boom. I swear I move like a turtle. Okay. I saw something else. This should really be easier, I swear. Okay, there we go. Hi, Pablo.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Good. You vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
You did? Okay, awesome. All right. I'm going to be with you in just 2 seconds, okay?
No worries. Take your time.
I'm almost 60. It takes me a lot to use technology. So
You're almost 60? No
Mhm.
way.
I know. Black don't crack unless you smoke it.
Wow, I thought you were in your 30s.
Yeah, drink your water and whatnot.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yep. I
Mm.
try to tell people all the time, don't listen to me though. I'd be like, hey, just drink your water and mind your business for the most part. And you'll age pretty well. Hey, shout out to Alaska Fury for the $2. They said, typical MAGA idiot with no facts. Just that I heard, as Santana says, is all with their feelings in their tum-tums. I think she was talking about you, Dylan. But again, I want you to take that, Dylan, and just let it. You can internalize it if you want to. The choice is yours, but just let it roll. I'm just a messenger. Thank you so much, Alaska, for the $2. I appreciate you guys. All right, we are now at 146 away from our daily donation goal. 146 left in our daily donation goal is what I should say. Pay links are in the bio. Everything with Erica is the name, PayPal and Venmo. And I also have a Zelle, everything with Erica9@gmail.com. Thank you all so very much. All right. And if you're on YouTube and you're watching and you want to support the live, the best way to do so is via super chat. Thank you all so much for what you do. I appreciate y'all. All right. We're going to talk to Pablo. Then we might come back to Dylan. Dylan's thinking about what else he wants to defend. So, Pablo, you voted for Donald Trump. All right. I think that MAGA is scared to defend Donald Trump. All right. Obviously, you're here to prove me wrong. All right. So, what are you looking to defend tonight?
Well, the only thing is something I'm just gonna comment on something you just talked to Dylan about.
Sure.
That you told them that Trump was scared of Putin because you never heard Trump talk about Ukraine giving up territory for that. He actually has said multiple times that Putin told him in his first presidency that his goal was to take territory back, like to bring back the old Russia. So he knew that going in, and his whole slogan of, oh, he wouldn't have done that while I was president, it only happened with Biden because of that, is because Putin had told him that was his goal, and he didn't do it through. He said this multiple times. You could Google it. He said this, and you know how he always has pressers, and then he goes off track. He has said that in multiple.
So what I'm saying is that to Zelensky, as he said that, because I know that Donald Trump has said before, just like we've all said, because we understand what it is that Putin wants. Putin has never made any qualms or had any of us views about what it is he wants. He wants the Soviet Union back. We know that part.
Right.
But to Zelensky himself, did Donald Trump say, hey, cede your land? Because it only appears apparently after the meeting in Alaska did Donald Trump come out and say that they should give up the Donbass region.
He never said that they should give it up. As a matter of fact, the vice president came on TV and gave an interview this last Sunday, and they asked him that question, and he literally said, "That's up to the Ukrainian people to decide. They're not going to push either way. They're just basically a third party, a messenger."
So you're proving my point for me because I believe it was a Saturday after the meeting, Donald Trump literally released a True Social tweet. All right, where he told Ukraine, Zelensky, that Russia is bigger than you and that they should cede Crimea to them.
But he also gave a Twitter about the fact that Ukraine should attack Russia and that Biden didn't let them. He's all over the place with this. Like, he's not.
Hold on, time out. Time out. So time out.
He is.
Biden never publicly said that Ukraine should attack Russia. He never said that. But wasn't it in December? I believe it was in December of last year when Biden provided the ballistic missiles to the Ukraine, and Ukraine used those missiles to attack Russia, and you all were having an absolute hissy fit about it.
I'm not debating whether he should or not. I'm
no.
But going on.
But you're not. You're wrong. Is what I'm trying to.
That's right. The point
you're
is
saying different things that I'm not.
Never heard him say that Ukraine should cede land, and that's how your fact. That fact is you proving that he bows down to Putin. And what I'm telling you is the vice president literally came out this Sunday disproving that point that you just made, because they literally asked him the same thing. They said, "Hey, you guys want to have a meeting with Putin, the United States, and Ukraine to push them into ceding land, because that's what Putin wants. That's what's going to cause a ceasefire." He said, "No, we're not going to push them either way. We're trying to facilitate a ceasefire, and if Ukraine doesn't actually, the Ukrainian people don't vote for that, then nothing's going to happen." And Trump came out today saying that if there's no peace, he's starting to think of bigger sanctions or bigger things to do to Russia.
He's been threatening sanctions on Russia for the past 2 months and hasn't placed them.
Correct, because
he doesn't plan on placing them.
No. The reason is they're negotiating, right? So you can't place sanctions. That's literally what the defense.
When Trump and Putin met in Alaska,
right,
and he walked away with nothing accomplished.
But that's not what
and Putin. Hold on. And Putin turns around a day later and bombs the hell out of Ukraine, and Donald Trump does nothing about it. Donald Trump is a bitch, and he's scared of Putin because that would. That would have been that would have been the time to actually to apply sanctions to Russia.
That's your opinion, which you're entitled to. But the actual secretary,
if he actually wanted to do something and to make a stand for the Ukraine, he would have applied those sanctions. Why not? Why not?
The Secretary of State went on TV. Let me finish. Let me tell you. I'm calm. The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, came on TV and actually answered this. He said, "There's no point in putting sanctions now while diplomacy is going on, because that's just going to end it. That's just going to end diplomacy."
But how is diplomacy?
You might not. Hold on.
Hold on. No, you said what you said. You just answered. You said what Marco Rubio said. I'm going to address that. No, I'm going to address that. Allow me to address it, Pablo. Okay, so.
Yes.
There's no need in applying sanctions while diplomacy is going on. But how is it diplomatic while in the midst, supposedly, of peace negotiations, is Putin attacking and making inroads into Ukraine? That doesn't make sense. He even went as far as to attack and bomb a warehouse that belongs to a U.S. company. Like, what are we doing?
It's the same.
And they did nothing.
You know that 2-year operation that Ukrainians did that bombed a bunch of the ships? It's the same thing, right? Like, why are the Ukrainians like doing that type of operation if they're trying to do diplomacy? They're in a war right now. They're fighting each other. Like, you act as if Ukraine's not doing anything, Russia just bombing people, and Ukraine's just standing there. No, they're in a war. They're fighting each other over territory. And what does Secretary of State said, whether you like it or not, right? It's irrelevant. Is that the reason why they're not putting sanctions on right now is because they're doing diplomacy. That is his reason. You might not like it, but that's his reason. It's not because they're afraid. It's not because they're they're trying to bow down to Putin. No, it's their in
Wait
their
a
mind.
minute. It is because they're trying to bow down to Putin.
No, it's not.
Again,
It's in
if
their
they wanted to make an actual stand and show Putin that they are serious, I already know that nothing that I say to you, you're gonna listen because you think that Donald Trump is this strong man.
No,
Donald Trump is a
that's not what I
sorry
said.
ass negotiator, is what he is. He's not a good negotiator. All right. So
He's
with
not
with Donald Trump, and also
no, hold on. Let's
in
you're saying
July,
he's not a non-negotiator. Why? He has the
Why?
White House. He has both
he
the
hasn't
Senate
done
and the House.
he
He's a
hasn't made any
multi-billionaire.
deals.
Like, what does he fail
hasn't
at?
made any deals. What has he
He
failed
has
at?
made
When
deals.
last?
He
Okay,
has made
there's a
deals
few
with
things that
countries
you
on the
said.
tariff.
Hold on, Pablo. There's a few things that you said. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a few things. All right, Donald Trump, all right,
Yep.
is a billionaire thanks to his father. His father left him a successful business that he almost ran to the ground, but by the grace of God and the ability to lie on a few business
No, his
loans,
father gave him $1 million
he's not.
loan that he
It
turned
was
to
not $1 million. Oh, you think that he didn't inherit $400 million from his dad? Do you
he
think
built
that? So
nobody
Pablo,
has.
I'm going to finish talking. Thank you. All right. So he inherited money from his father. All right. We're not talking about the small loan of $1 million. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact of what he inherited after his father passed away. And also, we're talking about the lies that he told to get loans from Deutsche Bank and other institutions by inflating his net worth that helped him stay alive and afloat. So that's what we're talking about. All right. Donald Trump on his own has not had any successful business. I want you to tell us in the 90s or even today when you purchased some Trump water, a Trump steak, when you rode on Trump Air, when you went to a Trump football game. All right. Like, when did you buy Trump wine? Okay. So he hasn't had a successful business, sir. He bankrupted 4 casinos and 2 resorts. That's what Donald Trump did, Pablo. Okay. The only reason that Donald Trump was able to stay afloat was because of his infamous status as a celebrity, as a playboy. And he went into TV. So he found a new grift called The Apprentice. So there's that. Donald Trump is not this successful businessman that you think he is. The art of the deal is bullshit. He didn't even write it. He couldn't make a deal out of a paper bag. Like, you have to tell us one successful deal that Donald Trump has made thus far as president. And you can come off of mute. If you don't know how to do it, I'll send you an invite to unmute.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. One thing is, I think you're one of the nicer left-wing commentators, but it's never going to be a discussion if you can't hear my counterpoint, or when you don't like something, you just mute me. I don't think that's fair.
Well, I muted you because you were over
understand that
talking me. I didn't want you to over talk me because
But
I really
you
don't like
overtalk
to
me
yell.
every single time I try to answer a question and you just cut me off and then you mute me. So I don't think that that's fair
Because
either.
what ends up happening is that while you're trying to answer, you go on to another point. All right. We want to stick to one point at a time.
My point was simple. You said why doesn't he put sanctions? That shows his weakness. I told you the guy who was there at the meeting, the Secretary of State, gave his opinion on this, and then you cut me off halfway through my answer. That
wasn't your point. Wasn't your point to say what Rubio said?
Yes, because he was literally in the
let's
meeting.
Address that part.
Right, he was literally in the meeting, and I was saying my answer, and then you just cut me off because you didn't like what you heard.
No, it wasn't that I didn't like what I heard. I literally wanted to address what it is that you said, because what ends up happening typically, and this might not be you, all right, but typically what happens is you all make a point and then you jump to something else, and then you jump to another thing, and then you jump to another thing, and then what ends up happening is before we can even address point 1, we're talking about point 35.
Okay, let's go back to point 1, which your point was, and tell me if I'm wrong, but your point was the sanctions would have shown that he's a strong person. The fact that he hasn't put any sanctions after the Russia attack shows that he's weak and he's basically Putin's lapdog, or something to that extent, right?
New York City. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay,
You got it.
What I'm saying is that based on what the guy at the meeting said, right? Because neither of us was at the meeting. The guy who was at the meeting, the Secretary of State, said the reason why they didn't put sanctions was because as soon as they put sanctions, the negotiations would be over. He went on national TV and said that, right? That's what he said. That is what their thinking is. Whether you agree with it or not, that's up to you. But that is what their thinking is. That doesn't show weakness. That's like if you ever begin a negotiation, any type of business negotiation, like as soon as there's emotional or like you put like my way or the highway, usually those things break down. Especially with things like this where lives are at stake.
Is that not what Putin is doing though? My way or the highway?
Because one of the main points, one of the main points that they were seeking, the Ukrainians were seeking, was guarantees of their security, right? Whether with some type of NATO type alliance. And Putin for the first time said okay in that meeting, or that's what they think he said. Right?
I'm sorry. I want you to stop. No. You're spreading misinformation. You're not going to do that here. No, you can't finish. You're going to be quiet. You are spreading misinformation. You literally are. You literally are spreading misinformation.
Okay, can you Google it? Security guarantees.
You're literally spreading misinformation.
I am not.
Okay. So to answer the two things that you said in your statement, because again, what ends up happening is that you make one point, and then you make another, and then there's another, and then there's another. Okay. So, Pablo.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. That meeting was to discuss a ceasefire.
Correct.
That's what that meeting was for, was to discuss a ceasefire.
Yes.
All right. Mid-meeting, Putin literally went into discussions, all right, about a peace arrangement where Ukraine would basically capitulate to Russia. Meaning that Putin wants the Donbass region, along with he wants to keep Crimea. He even said that Ukraine is not to join NATO.
Correct.
All right. That's what he said.
Yes.
That's literally what Putin said. And guess what Trump did the very next day? Because Trump went in again with the plans of a ceasefire.
Correct.
He walks out with absolutely nothing but everything that Putin said that he wants. And the very next day, he is tweeting or truthing, whatever the hell you want to call it, that Ukraine should just give up because Russia is bigger than them. And that they should give up their land, that they should cede their land to Russia. Now, whether or not Donald Trump has acknowledged that Russia, Putin wants the Soviet Union back again in the past, that doesn't matter. Because the thing is, he did not say prior to that meeting to Zelensky that Zelensky should give up their land. And we're not even talking about Crimea because Russia already has Crimea. Ukraine is literally fighting to hold on to the most industrialized part of their nation, which plays a major factor in their GDP. Why should they give that up? Why should they give that up?
I never said they should.
Okay. All right, cool. So why is the president saying that they should?
But
that's not what you're here to do.
As of this Sunday, the vice president said they shouldn't. They're not going to push them to.
The vice president isn't the one doing the negotiations, love. Donald Trump is.
There were three people in that room. It was the president, the vice president, and the secretary of state. And all three have come out and said that the reason why there was no peace agreement was because Putin wants that piece of land. They can't just say, yeah, okay, because it's not their country. They're not going to push Zelensky to do it either. They're going to let them know these are his terms. They have agreed to one piece that we wanted, which is security guarantees.
That came with the mineral deal.
Hold on, let me finish. In return, he wants this other thing, which is the pieces of land, right? Like to your point. Now it's up to for them to further the reason why they said no sanctions. What?
Go ahead, we're listening.
Right. The reason why they say no more sanctions is okay. We got through one hurdle, which is the security negotiations, the security guarantees. let's see if we can get over the next hurdle, which is the piece of land negotiation, right? Because they can't agree to that. So what they want is, hey, okay, now both of you come to the table and talk and see if you can come to an agreement. If you don't, then you don't. And then we have to focus on what you just said, the whatever sanctions or whatever else. Because as of yesterday, you love the tweets. As of yesterday, Trump has said that he's thinking about more, like he didn't say specifically what, but basically bad thing for Russia if they didn't come to the table. And he has tweeted since that tweet that you mentioned, that you keep mentioning like from weeks ago.
It's not from weeks
since
ago.
then, a week or two. Since that, he has said, "Hey, why?" And again, he could be wrong about this. I'm not saying he is, but what I'm trying to show is that he's not capitulating to Russia, where he tells the Ukrainians, "Hey, maybe I should tell the Ukrainians to allow them to bomb Russia, to attack Russia," when Biden never did. The next day he walked it back, because obviously that's bad negotiation tactics. But that's not a person who's capitulating to the other side.
I'm going to read about that. No. I'm going to read about the things that Trump has said about them in the last week. You're going to be quiet while I do it, because you're starting to annoy me. You're going to stop. I'm going to read about the things that Donald Trump has said about Ukraine within the last week. This is from August 18th through August 25th. If you have anything from the 26th and the 27th, by all means, let me know once I finish. Okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. All right. So, Donald Trump, all right, made a statement saying that Zelensky could end the war if he wanted to. Okay. All right. Meaning that Zelensky could just give in to Russia's demands. All right. And just end the war. Give Russia what they want and end the war. And there's something else that I want to talk about too, on that front. But let's keep doing this. All right. He also reiterated the fact that Ukraine would not be allowed to join NATO and would not regain Crimea. All right. There we go. Okay.
But he said this, or who said this? Who wrote
Donald
this?
Trump said this. Literally, Donald Trump said this.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Killing me, Smalls. Okay.
I'm just saying, sometimes people paraphrase in their articles to make it seem worse than it is. I've seen it. Both sides. I'm not saying one side only, both sides. Go ahead.
In the meeting with Zelensky and the European leaders, all right,
yes,
Trump did pledge a lot of help in regards to security guarantees, all right? But again, he ruled out NATO membership.
Correct. That's never on the table, right?
Okay. All right. Also, Donald Trump, all right, said that the European nations would front load the defense.
Correct.
Okay. Possibly including putting troops on the ground.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So let's put them in danger instead of Putin. I'm not even going to get my opinion on that one right now. Matter of fact, nope. Let's keep going. All right. Also,
yes,
Donald Trump for the Donetsk region. Donetsk. I always pronounce that wrong. For the Donetsk region, so the Donbass. All right. Signal support. All right. That's that tweet that we're talking about. You remember that tweet where he said that they should just give it up?
Yes.
Yeah. The major part, which contributes to their GDP, a major part because it has the coal and all that good stuff over there. They should just give that up. Yeah, that part. All right. And he described it as the part of the price for peace is the quickest way to win the war. That's what he said. That's what Donald Trump said. So basically, again, telling Ukraine that they should just give it up. He's telling Ukraine, a sovereign nation, to just give up. That's what he's doing. Okay. Jesus Christ. All right. He asked Zelensky to show flexibility. We remember that. All right. And then also, most importantly, he doesn't give a fuck about Ukraine. All right. If you watch the Fox News interview, all right, he said that this could be his chance of getting to heaven. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I'm
When
not
what
disagreeing.
what is in
I'm not
this
fighting
for?
any of these points. So
Okay,
I
all
don't know.
right. So Donald Trump is, and the point that I'm fighting is that Donald Trump is not a strong man. Donald Trump is a bad negotiator because if he was a good negotiator,
Mhm.
Ukraine wouldn't be walking away from this deal if they accepted with absolutely nothing. Why should Ukraine give up their land? Why should Ukraine basically deny protections for itself? Are you familiar with the Budapest Memorandum?
I disagree on what you just said, where
Okay.
they're walking away with nothing, or why should they? I'm not saying
What are they
okay,
walking away with
hold
then?
on, hold on. I'm not saying one way or another where they should give up land. That's not my point at all. Like I'm not fighting for them to give up land, nor am I fighting for them to keep land. Nothing. That's not my lane. What I'm disagreeing with you on is the fact that you're saying Trump is a bad negotiator
He
because he
is.
hasn't done any deals. Hold on, let me finish, please. Because he hasn't done any deals, and that he is placating to Putin on
He
this
is.
topic, right? And what I'm saying is, he's not, because he has not agreed. Like he doesn't. He could try to force them, but he's not. Sorry, was that somebody? I just saw you looking at the side, so I don't know you were.
Go ahead.
Right. So here's the thing. I don't think we're ever going to agree with this because you want to see what you want to see, but there's no evidence of he's a bad negotiator. We negotiated a bunch of tariff deals. He got his big, beautiful bill done, even though a lot of Republicans didn't want.
Is this
to
real?
go with it. Right? So you might not like the things that he's doing. He's getting his immigration stuff passed. He's getting all his.
Oh, don't pivot.
I'm not. I'm just telling you the things that he's
We're going to
negotiated.
stick to negotiating. He hasn't.
Okay,
The immigration stuff has been absolutely no deals because the majority of the things that he's tried to do in regards to immigration have actually failed because they haven't been upheld in court. So there's
What are you
that.
talking
Like
about?
he was struck down from using the Insurrection Act. He was also struck down from using the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. So he couldn't use that. The only thing that he's gotten away with when it comes to immigration is being able to deport people to third countries. That is it. And
When
the
I'm
Supreme
talking about
Court.
when I'm talking about negotiations about immigration, I'm talking about the money he got in the big beautiful bill. I'm not
He
talking
didn't
about anything else.
negotiate that. He didn't
Of course he
negotiate
did.
that. No, he
A lot
didn't.
of the
The
Republicans
senators
didn't.
and
A lot of
they're
Republicans did not want to
going.
go along with this.
The senators and also the House of Representatives are the ones who negotiated that. They did that. All
Mhm.
Donald Trump did was make threats. You don't negotiate by making threats. That's
But
not
he
what
got
you
his bill
do.
through.
Because
he won.
these people are also pussies. That's all that we're working with a room full of fucking pussies.
Okay.
Of bitches.
Okay.
That's all we're working with. All
Okay.
right. Sorry. I'm not even sorry to use that language, but that's literally what we're working with. These people care more so about staying in power than they actually care about their darn going constituents. Because if they cared about their constituents, then they actually would not have voted for the big, beautiful bill, especially someone like Mike Johnson from Louisiana, who gets the majority of their friggin' funding for Medicaid from the government.
So let me get this
it doesn't
straight.
make any sense.
If he gets what he wants, he's a bad negotiator.
If he gets what he wants, he's a bad. Yes, he's still a bad negotiator because he
Because he
didn't.
got what he
He's not
wanted.
the one that negotiated it. That's
Of course
the
he is.
thing.
There were 4 people. No, there were enough votes the night before to stop the bill, and he called each one of them, and then he got his bill passed.
Yes, I know. We can hear the guacamole in the back of his throat twisted. It's crazy. You wanted to move from Putin to this.
No,
that's what you wanted to do.
No.
All right, if you want to talk about Trump actually doing some deals that help American citizens, let's talk about Donald Trump and his tariff deals. Let's talk about that.
Okay, cool.
How many deals has he made with tariffs?
I don't know the exact number.
Okay, all right. Approximately 5. He's on approximately 5. And guess what? With every single one of them, United States citizens are paying more now than we were prior to him starting his trade war. Specifically with places like Great Britain. Prior to this little trade war that Donald Trump decided to start with the rest of the world,
yes.
All right, we were paying like a 2% tariff on imports from Great Britain. Now we're at 50%. That. All right, with Japan, it was around 2 and 3% for most imports. For most imports.
And what are they paying?
Well, I know that the EU is paying 0.
Right.
I know that much.
And how much money is coming in over those tariffs?
I'm sorry. Who pays the tariff, dear?
Hmm?
Who pays the tariff?
What I'm
who pays
saying?
the tariff?
Wait.
Who pays the tariff?
Nobody.
Nah, you got to answer the question. Who
Nobody's
pays the tariff?
arguing whether. No, nobody. The company.
Then why are you asking me how much are they paying?
No,
Who
because
pays the
nobody.
tariff? Because the amount is a
Your
lot
point-
less
your-
than what
can I
United
speak,
States
or you're
citizens
not
are
gonna let me
paying.
speak
So
ever?
who pays the tariff?
Can I
No,
speak, or can you
because
not
you're
gonna-
not answering
No,
the question.
no.
I've answered every
I
single question
literally
that
just
you've
said
asked.
the companies.
The
who
companies
import-
pays the tariff?
Yes,
The
that's
companies
literally who
pay.
pays the
Who do they pass the cost on to?
No, that's not that was not the question. The people
No,
who
no, no,
pay
no,
the
no, no, no,
tariff-
no, no. Because the people who pay the tariff is
that's a
actually the
different
American
question.
citizens. That's
That's
not a
a
different
different question.
question.
Oh,
It's not a
of
different
course it is.
question.
By
No,
definition,
American
who pays the
citizens are the
tariffs
one. The
is
consumer is the
importer.
one who pays
It's
the
the
tariff.
importer, the importer. If you're
Okay, then
saying
if we
downstream
want to
effect-
be literal, then if we
Well,
want to be
that's- how do you
literal
want
and
me
do
to answer?
semantics, then
you
how
said
about we do
not
this?
to go off topic.
Who?
So I'm,
no, no, no.
I'm
We
asking
know you
directly.
You took it off topic when you started talking about
But
immigration and Trump.
no.
So I want you to see how Donald Trump has negotiated for American citizens.
And then you're upset about my answer.
I'm not upset about it. First of all, you're going to stop projecting these things onto me because I'm not any of those things. You're going to stop doing that, okay?
So can I speak now, or are you going to keep cutting me off?
Right? No, I'm going to get you to answer the question. Is what we're going to do.
I just answered the question.
So let me be very succinct. Let me be very succinct here, Dan.
Okay.
Let's be very succinct and concise.
Yeah.
All right. Who does the company pass the cost on to?
Not all companies are going to pass that off.
See, your ass can't answer a question. You're disingenuous
because they're
as
not.
fuck.
Because
Goodbye. You're disingenuous as fuck. Like, you're so disingenuous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So disingenuous. So disingenuous. You're sitting here saying that Donald Trump is a good negotiator. How is he a good negotiator when Ukraine gets nothing from the deal? I point out that Ukraine will get absolutely nothing from the deal. And you say, well, I'm not here to say whether or not they should give up their land. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about that Donald Trump is a good negotiator. But he's not a good negotiator, because if he was a good negotiator, what would end up happening is that both parties could actually walk away with something that's beneficial to them. It is not beneficial for Ukraine to not only just give up their land, but to also say that they are darn gone never going to be able to join NATO. That is not okay. That is literally putting the lie that you all tell about not 1 inch eastward. That's literally the lie that you all tell. And no, it's not okay. It's simply just not okay. They shouldn't have to give up a major part of their economy. I do not want to battle. Stop doing that. They should not have to give up a major part of their economy, all right, along with their security. They already tried that with the Budapest Memorandum. Do y'all know that Russia also signed the Budapest Memorandum, agreeing to not attack Ukraine, to not encroach on their land? Yet here we are, all right, now on year 3, and Russia is now occupying about 20% of the Ukraine. I really, really want y'all to think about that. What makes people think that if Ukraine agrees to this deal, all right, and gives up everything, all right, gives up every single thing, that Russia in 5 years won't attack them again? Because Putin does not just want the Donetsk region, the Donbass. He doesn't just want that, guys. He wants all of it. He wants the Soviet Union back. All right. He wants Poland. He does. He wants Poland. What else is the one, Moldova? He wants Moldova too. All right. And a bunch of other countries. Okay. Exactly, Dr. Steele. He's a colonizer. He wants the Soviet Union back, and that man is not going to stop. The only thing that's going to stop Putin from getting the Soviet Union back is death. That's it. That's it. That is it. All right. So yes, you were up here to defend Donald Trump as a negotiator. And if you're going to defend Donald Trump as a negotiator, you have to talk about the deals in which he is trying to make or has made. And you didn't want to do that. You didn't want to do that, Pablo. What you wanted to do is just say, Donald Trump, good negotiator. How? If you can't substantiate it, then I'm not going to believe you. You didn't prove me wrong. Anywho, If you voted for Donald Trump, I forgot I have on lashes now. Fuck me. Can't scratch my eyeballs, guys. I have on lashes. I am a ridiculous person. All right, guys, let's keep tapping the screen, sharing the live. Let's keep doing all other good things. We have over 400 people in here. We're at 104,000 likes. Let's go ahead and get it up to 150,000 likes. Let's keep doing all other good things. What are we working on right now? Oh, let me reset the goal. Thank you so much for knocking out the tiny dinies. Y'all are awesome. Let's see here. Boom. I don't know what to do. Let's do high bears. Let's go for high bears. All right. Let's go ahead and knock those out. Continue to share the live. Let's keep doing all of the good things, guys. Also, we're still working on our daily donation goal. We have $146 left in our our goal. I don't know. I just went blank. I need a nap. We have $146 left in our daily donation goal. Pay links are in the bio. Everything with Erica is the name. PayPal and Venmo also have a Zelle. Everything with Erica9@gmail.com. Thank you all so much for the love, the support, the encouragement, and the engagement. And YouTube, I haven't forgotten about you. If you guys want to show love, the best way to do so is via super chat. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Thank you all so very much. And if you voted for Donald Trump, get in the box. Get in the box. All right. All right. I've been forgetting to give everyone the option, so I'm gonna try with Keela here. Is it Kyla? Is it Kyla?
No, you had it right. It's Keela.
It is Keela. Awesome. I'm pretty good at pronouncing names, so cool. Hi, Keela. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. So I haven't been giving people this option, to be honest with you. I haven't eaten all day and I kind of forgot. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the option. All right. Would you like to have a civil conversation, a decent discourse, or a heated exchange? Thank you, Dr. Kai.
I prefer the civil, but it seems to be very hard to manage.
Okay. So a civil conversation. Okay. Bet. All right. We can do a civil conversation. All right. So as my prompt says, MAGA is scared to defend Donald Trump. You get the chance to prove me wrong. What is it that you're looking to defend tonight?
Well, I don't know if I could actually, I don't even know where to start. So everyone always asks me why I voted for him. And to defend him, it's probably the opposite on why I voted for him. It's not to defend him. It's what I've been witnessing. There's what's been done to him and what we've been through for the past 4 years with the other administration and what they have done to the country. And that's why I went into the position that I went in the first place. I didn't get I am not a researcher of Donald Trump, like to the details that you guys are, where you research and you get your valuable and your statistics and your numbers, which is great. I'm not saying everything's perfect here. It's been rocky. I get that. But all I remember is how it was before. And to me, it was a lot worse. And
how so?
Well, because I really thought that Joe Biden wasn't really running the country, and I thought we had nobody running the country. And I thought, well, because he was never available, his cognitive decline, all the issues that we had, and then we had to bring Kamala Harris on board. Definitely not a fan of hers.
It's Kamala. Or you could just say Harris.
Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
Kamala? Yeah.
Yes, Kamala. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I just felt like the way the world was going and everything that was going on around us, and I don't know if it was propaganda. We know that that's been going on, or fear mongering, and we know that's been going on. But I was really afraid of who's going to protect American citizens here? All our enemies abroad. I felt that there was weakness with Biden, and they didn't respect Biden. And I thought that,
I'm sorry. How do they not respect Biden?
Well, I'm talking about our foreign enemies. Like, they didn't even want to have negotiations with him. They didn't even answer his phone calls. They didn't even want nothing to do with him. When Donald Trump calls, they answer. You see the difference? So I can't really honestly say that I can.
Could it be because, like in regards to that? Because I know I fear that we're going to go into a what about Biden type conversation, but could it be that Biden was wanting to hold them accountable and not do whatever it is that they wanted them to do? No, think about it. Think about it. Think about it. I just did this, and you were here for it. All right, you were here for it. Prior to the meeting in Alaska, right? Donald Trump never said to Zelensky, never said to Zelensky that they should give up their land, right? Russia already has Crimea. So we're not talking about Crimea. He never said to Zelensky that they should give up their land. He always talked to Zelensky about a ceasefire. But he meets with Putin. Then all of a sudden, the next day, he's telling Zelensky, just give it up. Telling them that they should give up the industrialized part of their country, where they will lose a significant part of their GDP.
Yeah.
Right? And guess whose idea that was, though, Keela? It wasn't Trump's idea. It was Putin's idea.
Yeah, I believe that those negotiations are a lot more complicated than we all know, and I think they're a lot more complicated than Trump even knew at this point.
But that says a lot about him as a president and as a negotiator. And I mean, that says a lot about him. Like, he needs to know who it is that he's dealing with. All right. I'm going to say what Hector would say. Kamala would never. No, I'm not finished though. Kamala would never capitulate to Putin. All right. Putin doesn't meet with anyone if they're not giving him what he wants. He has a track record of that. So with that being said, could it be that the reason why Putin is willing to meet with Donald Trump, because he sure as hell hasn't met with Zelensky and Trump in the same room. He hasn't done that yet.
Yeah.
Exactly. Putin isn't the one that met with the European leaders. He's not the one that met with the European leaders, because he knows that the European leaders are going to tell him that the deal that he's looking to make is BS and they're not going for it.
Well, I see where you're going with this on why he's meeting with Trump and not with the others, but I don't look at it like that.
I know you don't look at it like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't look at it like that. I look at it differently. And this is the problem in this. I mean, I don't want to jump from fact to fact because I know you don't want to do that, but it's a much bigger picture than we all realize. What you think of Republicans, and you're actually one of the nicer ones that I've seen on these things. We think of Democrats. So it's a very divided world, and we know that. But what we're accused of by Democrats, we think the same. We don't understand each other, and it's so hard to have a civil conversation. And I respect everybody. And if that's your opinion that you want to vote Democrat and you think that Trump is horrible, even though I don't understand it, I can't get the same respect that I'm giving Democrats. They all think that I'm a racist, bigot, I hate this. And it's just really disheartening, you know? This is what I go through personally as being a Trump supporter. You look confused. Did I confuse you?
Not confused. I'm incredulous. That means I don't believe you. And the reason why I don't believe you is because of the simple fact that you had Donald Trump, a person who was previously president, who messed up the pandemic. He literally had a playbook on how to handle a once in 100 years, so a once in a century pandemic. And he threw it away because he didn't respect the previous president. For what reason? We don't even know why he didn't respect the previous president. Oh, wait, we do know why he didn't respect the previous president, because at a White House press corps event, he was made fun of. That's why. And he didn't like being embarrassed. So he's held on to that grudge ever since. But that's neither here nor there. He threw it away. And he also dismantled the team that would have helped him and actually handled it. So he did that. Then he told Bob Woodward that he knew about C-19 since October of 2019, and he knew how deadly it was. He knew, but he got on national TV and told the American people that it will only last for about 2 weeks. I'm not even finished. I'm not even finished. All right. But that's one of the main things that he did in his first term. But we can talk about him prior to becoming president, him as a human being, even as a businessman. As a businessman, he wouldn't rent to Black and brown people. He was sued by the Department of Justice in 1973. He did settle. He was also investigated for the same thing again in 1978. He also told an employee that he only wanted Jewish people counting his money, and he didn't want black folks counting his money. We all know about the Central Park Five, because Keela, you can't say that you don't know. I'm pretty sure you've heard this before. We know that he took out a 4-page ad in 4 different New York magazines, New York City magazines to be exact, calling for the unalignment of those 5 black and brown boys, because they were boys. Even after they were exonerated for the crime in which they had pled guilty to, after they were exonerated, he still, in 2024 on national TV, said that they are guilty for unaliving that woman. Guess what? She's still alive. And the person who did do it to her, who caused her harm, is serving a life sentence. So he did that. We don't have to talk about the fact that he has sexualized his daughters, not just Ivanka, but also Tiffany, when he talked about her legs. Numerous times that he sexualized children when he told a 12-year-old little girl that he would be dating her in 10 years. That he said that because he owns Miss Teen USA, that he can walk backstage. Like we heard the stories about how Donald Trump didn't pay his bills. We knew that Donald Trump had gone bankrupt numerous times over, 6 to be exact, 4 casinos, 2 hotels. We knew that information about him. We knew he was a bad businessman. Donald Trump was not some beloved figure. He wasn't. He was more like a Krusty the Clown. He was famous because we could laugh at him.
Well, I remember when he first started running, gosh, everybody was up. Even me, you know, I used to be a Democrat. I used to be
We
a
all
Democrat.
used to be Democrats. Mm-hmm.
And so when he first became, because I don't really know as much as you do, but I know that I was kind of like, oh no, we can't have him as president. Oh, can you imagine him negotiating with very dangerous world leaders all over the world? He'll put us into a war. Oh my God, what are they doing? Well, look in the end what has happened. He's actually been the peacemaker.
No, he hasn't. He's not the peacemaker.
Go ahead.
Well,
you see, what I'm saying is I do believe that, you know, he doesn't want people dying in war. Now, I know that he might have said to Zelensky, give it all up. And that's difficult to do. I don't know I don't know what to say about that. It's so big of a negotiation and complex that I don't even know what to say. But at the same token, in the meantime, are you going to do like, you know, in the Middle East where they fought for 20 years and people die over land? I mean, it's a very complex situation. And I don't know what the right answer is.
No one would say that it's complex, but I don't think that Ukraine giving up everything is the answer. So that's not the sign. That's not the signs of a peacemaker. That's literally capitulation. That's literally what that is.
But I know that people are still dying, and that's what he shows a lot of concern about. Look, if people are dying, we need to do. What are we going to do? So I don't know if I could blame him for not being able to bring Putin to the table, like he said he was, because he thought he was going to, and he hasn't. And I think that's a surprise to him. I don't know, but that hasn't turned out the way we wanted. That's obvious.
What concerns?
I mean, you know, with him not being able to get the peace deal that he wants with that particular country, it's just not happening the way he planned it in his mind. Because he said, "Oh, I'll have this war done and out and finished, and you know, as soon as I'm in office," and it hasn't happened. So we all know that. But you know, I mean. And so once again, here we are. We're talking about Donald Trump, and let me ask you this: and I know that Trump is very controversial. I get it, but do you really think that the other administration, the Biden administration, the Bill Clintons, the Hillary Clintons, the Obamas, are squeaky clean?
That has nothing to do with the price of tea in Ghana. If anybody is dirty, lock them up. I don't really care. I don't care. Lock them up. If they did something dirty, lock them up.
Yeah.
Right. So lock them up. As long as it's the truth, lock them up.
But if you see, let me finish this comment. If you see what's happened to Donald Trump when it came to all the indictments and all this in the courts, and how they went after him and
Valid.
how they tried to attempt to assassinate him. And there's a reason
Valid.
for all this stuff, you
It
know?
was valid. And also, we're not going to talk about the attempt. We're not going to do that. But the court cases, valid. Valid.
Yeah.
He was literally found guilty, all right,
Yeah, but,
by a
look at the
judge.
people that were indicting him, though. Look at
What
the
do you mean?
people that
Look,
were in
the people that were indicting him were doing their job.
the state attorney.
Guys, one friendly at a time, please. I'm so serious tonight. I don't want a lot of people on the panel tonight. Ma'am, they were doing their job. If
Yes,
in all actuality, in reality, if Merrick Garland was actually doing his job, Donald Trump wouldn't be president right now. Alas, here we are because Merrick Garland bitched out and Joe Biden wanted to play diplomacy and be the bigger person. So
Yeah.
there's that. And another thing is that the charges were fair and just. Tis it, tis all. Because if they weren't fair and just, then they never would have been brought to actual trial.
But look what they did. They went ahead and put the man on trial to make sure that he couldn't go and do rallies and put him in a position like that for a reason.
He
It just
still
seemed like
did rallies. What are we talking about? He
I know,
still
he
did
was
rallies.
He was able to get by somewhat, but it's not like it was a easy situation to do. Like, you know, he would go into the streets, you know, to do what he can, but he couldn't travel at certain times here and there with these court dates. And that was
Now,
part
Don't,
the
don't,
plan.
I don't want you to be so serious. I really want you to be serious. Donald
Yeah.
Trump, all right, that's a sad thing. All right. You don't want to hold Donald Trump accountable for anything. It's always someone else's fault. It's not Donald Trump's fault for lying on the business records and saying that money was for like campaign expenses when we really know that it was to pay off a darn going porn star. All right.
Yeah.
We
And
okay. We don't
again,
want to talk. Hold on. No, I'm not finished. We don't want to talk about that because that's Michael Cohen's fault. That's whose fault. That's not Trump's fault for having the affair and paying off a porn star. That's not his fault. That's Michael Cohen's fault. No, I'm not finished. It's not Donald Trump's fault for using money that was donated to a charity for kids with cancer and buying material stuff. Can't remember what he bought, but for buying shit, that's not his fault. That's somebody else's fault. All right. That's his kid's fault. All right. That's Eric and Don. That's their fault. All right. It's not his fault. All right. For following E. Jean Carroll into the dressing room and then sexually assaulting her. It's E. Jean Carroll's fault. Why did she let him into the dressing room? It's her fault. Like, that's what y'all do. Y'all never, ever hold Donald Trump accountable for his disgusting, vile, despicable, deplorable behavior. It's always someone else's fault. It's not Donald Trump's fault that he didn't pay his contractors. And he was well known for that in New York. It's not his fault that he didn't pay that. Let's just blame that on his accountant. Let's just, you know what, blame it on his mind and not his heart. You know, he gets no accountability. Why?
Still, Erica, in the midst of all that, the man still he became president, and 70 million people voted for him in the midst of all that. In the midst of all that, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that.
I like your new profile picture.
Thank you. Mac made it actually.
Oh, awesome. Hi, Mac.
She's not here, but thank you.
That's right.
I have a good question. Was it Keela?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you had mentioned that you were a Democrat and you couldn't fathom voting for Trump when he first started running in 2016. What changed?
Well, I try to explain. I try to focus on what I see on the other side. And then the Democrats get upset and they don't want to talk about their own party and what's wrong with their own party.
Conversation. Let's have the actual conversation. What changed for you? Why did you choose? You were a Democrat. I don't know when the last Democrat you voted for was, but you said you were a Democrat and you saw Donald Trump's appalling behavior in 2015 and 2016, and something changed. Now you're a Trump supporter. So,
well, I was never really a follower of Donald Trump. I just kind of knew of him. But then when he went into politics and I heard he was running, I was like, what? Like I was like, what? And I was like, oh no. And I thought that his temperament would not, but since
you shouldn't support a candidate or president who is racist? Maybe you're not racist, but don't you think racism should be a line in the sand?
Well, I mean, of course we don't want to support people that are racist, but I wouldn't say anything different about the president from the other administration. You guys think that he's Mr. Wonderful, Biden, but if you go back in his archives and listen to some things that he said, I believe that he's also has some of that in him also, but they just keep that on the down low, because anything about the Bidens has to be kept on the down low. You know,
That's not
so
true.
well,
That's not true. We already know what it is that you're referencing, and so let's just get it out of the way. When Biden said that his kids will grow up in a racial jungle, all right, what he was saying is that busing at that time would cause racial tensions to increase, so they would be inflamed. Okay, they would be inflamed. That is what he meant. Was it a bad choice of words? Yes, it was a bad choice of words. It was. It really was.
I'm not
When
sure
he
what
said
you
on,
mean by inflamed.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure.
sorry. I don't know what
When I
what do you
say
mean by
inflamed,
I mean, what do you mean inflamed?
inflamed, that racial tensions would basically increase. They would grow by
Racial-
taking Black kids from their neighborhoods and the schools that they know and placing them into majority white schools in the 70s.
Oh, okay, I get it. So you're back there.
Also, I actually, I'm like, I have a really, really quick question. You mentioned that you weren't even really a Trump supporter until after you saw him, the way he lost in 2020, and you're under the impression that the Democrats were dirty in the election, whatever. That means you didn't support him in 2016 or 2020. You supported him in 2024 when his election opponent was Kamala Harris. So I don't know why you would bring up Biden's alleged racist past when Kamala Harris was his opponent. Do you think Kamala Harris is a racist?
I think that well, you know, I could put Donald Trump in there also. I think that all of them probably at one time are probably disconnected from the average person.
No,
These
I'm
people-
so sorry. I asked you a very specific question. Do you think Kamala Harris is a racist?
I don't know. I don't think so. I
Okay,
never
so
thought
if you
about
don't
it.
think so, perfect. You don't think so. The election was between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. You know about Donald Trump's racist past, or at least you just heard about it. So do you think racism should be a deal breaker? Without mentioning Joe Biden, who is not Donald Trump's opponent, do you think racism should have been a deal breaker in the 2024 election?
Well, I mean, you're telling me that I know that he's a racist, but I actually don't. I mean, this is all, you know, to me, people, and keep in mind that I don't trust any of the people that talk about, you know, Donald Trump, particularly the political side, the Democratic side, you know, because I believe that most of the things that have been said against him, in my mind, and I'm not going to judge because I don't know for sure. You know,
How about I just give you quotes from Donald Trump himself? You don't have to take it from a Democrat or from CNN or the liberal biased media, just from Donald Trump himself.
Yeah, but I also, let me just say that I also look, I mean, I know what you're trying to do. Oh, how could you vote? How could you vote? Well, I just said, well, how could you have a man like Biden at the helm also? So you could have that at the helm with Kamala Harris, and that's okay. But on all the corruption, but it's Donald.
Oh, there were. I was waiting for her to say that again, Dan. I was waiting for her to say the word corruption again, and guess what? She said it. She said it. You said corruption. Let's talk about corruption. All right. Was it corruption in Donald Trump's first term when he threatened and tried to extort Zelensky, all right, to release information or to give him information about the Biden family? Hence the first reason why he was impeached. Was that corruption?
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, of course you're. I know. Okay, let's go more current. All right. Would you say failure to be transparent about business dealings of the United States would be a sign of corruption, and then lying about it?
Well,
because hold on, time out. Let me tell you what happened. You got to know what happened in order for you to say you don't know what I'm talking about, right? You can't say you don't know what I'm talking about if I haven't told you what I'm talking about.
No, I wasn't going to say that. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Donald Trump, within the last month, actually made a deal with Intel, all right, where they purchased 433 million shares of Intel for $8.9 billion, making the United States government the largest shareholder of intel. Donald Trump, Truth. I'm gonna start calling Truth. I don't know what he calls it. Hey, Cindy, I don't know what he called. He Truth. All right, on Truth Social. I pay zero for intel. It is worth approximately $11 billion. That's what he said. Despite the fact that there is clear and evident documentation of this deal, Donald Trump lied. He lied. And he basically told the American public, because he told on himself, saying that it was worth $11 billion, knowing damn well that the United States paid $8.9 billion for it. So not only was there a discount involved, favoritism was shown. You're not supposed to do that. That's illegal. Do you think that that's corruption? As the way I put it out to you, do you think that that is corrupt? Yes or no?
Well, I have to know if the facts, if it's true.
Exactly. Of course. All right. Wait, guys. There's more. There's more. Conflicts of interest. Do you think like appointing Elon Musk, a person who has absolutely no governmental experience, all right, should not have access to millions of Americans' information and was only there because he was a friend of Trump's? You don't think, and also had government contracts? He was auditing agencies in which he had contracts with them. That's a conflict of interest, yet Donald Trump appointed him as a special government officer anyways. You don't think that that's corrupt? Are you about to tell us that you don't know about that?
No. Who doesn't know about that? I know about that.
Sure. You know about that. Do you think that was a conflict of interest?
I believe that he had his reasons for having Musk's on there. I believe he had his reasons, and I believe he trusted him. And as the president of the United States, he could decide who he wants on his side for his own reasons. And he's a genius, and he found out all the corruption that was being, all the taxpayers' money.
Everybody else is doing corruption except for Donald Trump and his cronies, guys. I just want to let you all know that, guys, by the way. Everyone is corrupt and committing some form of corruption except for Donald Trump and his people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that everything is perfect here, Erica. I get it. It's complicated. But once again,
no one said that anything had to be perfect. And I don't really mean to cut you off, but I just want to make something clear. The problem that I have with Trump supporters, and maybe why these conversations don't go for you, Keela, the way that you expect them to go, all right, is simply because Trump supporters, for the most part, cannot see any flaw in what it is that Donald Trump is doing. You cannot hold him accountable. In your eyes, he's infallible.
I don't
when you are
infallible.
I think you do, because when you're told information about Donald Trump, what you do is you say, I'm not familiar with that. Oh, I have to look into that. Yeah, but you asked me earlier, you said, do you think that Hillary and Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, do you think that they're corrupt, that they did corruption? I said, yeah, if they did, lock their asses up. Like, who cares? Lock them up. But you, on the other hand, you can't do that with Donald Trump. Your brain won't allow you to.
Well, I'm also thinking, okay, well, if he's going to be president, and I'm also thinking about, the what's going on with both these presidents. The previous administration was corrupt.
What about Biden? Go ahead. I'm sorry, I had to do it.
And then what's going on with Trump? There's questionable shit going on everywhere.
What questionable stuff was going on with Biden?
Oh my God. Well, the thing is, I don't think that Biden, I don't even think he should have won in the first place. So you could start there.
What questionable things were going on with Joe Biden? I don't care if you thought if he should have won or not. That's not the question.
I think it was the people around him and his cabinet. I don't think he was running the country. I just don't think he's running the country.
I think you accidentally confirmed what Erica was just talking about when you were talking about how Trump was unable to campaign because all them, the collective them, is going after him with lawsuits and it made it difficult for him to do rallies, and he was still able to win the election. That's a pro for Trump. He was able to overcome being indicted and having all of these problems and was able to win the election. But when Joe Biden is able to win the election, oh, well, that must be corruption. There's no way that he was able to overcome the pandemic and not be able to rally. No way he could get 7 million more votes. It's not possible. Like, no matter what happens, it's going to be a positive for Trump and a negative for anybody else. You do.
Yeah, but it's the reality. I mean, that's exactly what happened. Trump, Biden won, and he shouldn't have won, and that's the reality. And that's
Biden won because more Americans voted for him. I know it's hard for you to believe because you live in a different reality. But all of the investigations, I didn't want to get into this because there's so many other topics that were being covered. But you said you weren't really a Trump supporter until 2020. You saw what the Democrats did. Okay, 64 court cases. Every single one of them was either thrown out or was lost on merit. Many of those were Trump-appointed judges. But when I bring that up to a Trump supporter, it's, well, if they were thrown out, then that's because they didn't want to look at the evidence. And if they actually lost the case, it's, well, it was a Democrat judge. And then when it was a Trump-appointed judge, it was, oh, well, they're actually a rhino. No matter what, it's always everyone around him is lying. Every other, Bill Barr, his attorney general, who was a Trump supporter for 9 years, Bill Barr must be lying. His own daughter, Ivanka, must be lying that he lost the election. Even Donald Trump, when he's behind the scenes and says that he lost, Donald Trump behind the scenes must be lying. Every single person except Donald Trump has to be lying. All of the governors, all of the Secretary of State. We're talking about, he calls the Secretary of State of Georgia Republican. Been a Republican his entire life. Governor of Georgia, Republican his entire life, and says, I just need to find 11,780 votes. And this is a day after the Secretary of Georgia told him, there are no votes. We did we did an audit, everything's done. So all of this, a Trump supporter hears this and says, yeah, but it's either they were Democrats or it's either they were rhinos. There's no way that Donald Trump actually lost because he was an unpopular president.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I didn't see the unpopularity I didn't see that.
I swear to God. I swear you didn't see anything. You saw nothing. You saw nothing.
Well, I saw thousands at his rallies. That's what I saw.
Oh, the thousands. Yes, I love that. But when Kamala has big rallies, they're getting busted in. By the way,
exactly.
It's so easy to predict like where the next talking point is going to be. But you said you didn't see it. Of course you didn't see it, because when Erica brought up the reason for his first impeachment, this is a presidential impeachment. There's been what, 5 total? Yep. This first impeachment, you didn't even know what she was talking about. When he was manipulating Ukraine and holding over the aid that was already promised to them by Congress, holding over that aid in exchange for investigations into Biden. The fact that you didn't even know about that, of course, you're not going to see anything bad. You're in whatever bubble you're in. It might not be your fault. Maybe you are a good person at heart, but you're just in whatever algorithmic bubble online where you're only seeing stuff from the right, and you don't even know why the president of the United States, one of only 46 people, at the time 45 people to have ever held that office, why they're being impeached, you didn't even know. You hadn't even heard about it. That's a problem. That alone should be ringing alarm bells for you, saying maybe I'm wrong about some of this stuff.
Well, I have to say that I've always I'm not going to deny that I'm not a political person. You know, this is all new for me. I mean, it's obvious that I'm not as well versed, but I have to go with what I feel and what I see and what's presented to me as a normal citizen. And I am a nice person, and I don't want to fight with people, and I hate the country divided. I really do. I wish it was
you voted for the person that is actually dividing the country.
But I don't believe that.
You don't believe that I mean, like, the man literally got on TV, all right, with the National Association of Black Journalists, and said that Kamala Harris turned black. He would make fun of her name and call her Kamamalala and all this other BS. Like, he literally did that. He said that immigrants are poisoning the blood of our nation. All right. Echoing the rhetoric of Schmittler. All All right, that's what he did.
He
All right,
also-
go
he
ahead.
also
Dan.
called, real quick, I don't mean to interrupt, but he
That's
also
okay.
called Democrats the enemy within. If you're talking about
Yep.
dividing and you want to bring the two halves of the country together, the Democrats and the Republicans, maybe a good way to do that would not be to say that anyone that isn't on his side is the enemy within. And he's not even just a divider among Democrats and Republicans. He's even a divider amongst his own supporters, as we just recently saw when he said, if anyone that voted for me is still talking about the Epstein files, I don't want your support. He's showing division with within his own ranks for his benefits.
Well, so the Epstein's files is a disappointment. I'm not going to deny that. I mean, I don't really understand it. Is it a cover up? Obviously, that's corruption, I guess.
So what's your line in the sand, Keela?
Well,
what's the hard stop for you when it comes to Donald Trump?
Gosh, I don't know when to ask, because listen, let me just say
You want me to ask you a question, Erica?
that the reason why I wanted to be safe in the country that I live in. I was petrified of war. I really was nervous about, okay, is Biden going to be able to protect this country? And I didn't feel protected.
Biden wasn't the candidate. Don't bring up Biden. Biden was not the candidate. Kamala Harris was the candidate.
Biden wasn't the candidate. Thank you. Biden wasn't the candidate.
But even outside of that, I want to jump in.
Hold on one moment, love. Hold on. We have a few things to do here. Actually, thank you for interrupting. I'm going to read off a few things. Shout out to my girl Lindsay for the 15. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for the 15. Lindsay said, I don't want to sing kumbaya with fascists. Fascism is disheartening. Fascism is disgusting. It's evil. Nobody fucking wants it except for Trump supporters for some reason or another. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for the 15. Also, shout out to my love, Miss Ball. Thank you very much. Miss Ball wants to know, she sent $5, by the way. She wants to know, Keela, do you think that Donald Trump should have a third term?
Well, age is a factor.
I'm out.
Dan, don't leave me here.
I mean,
she said age is a factor.
She said age is a factor.
Erica, I don't think I can handle it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Are we gonna get a crash out, Dan?
I'm sorry you don't like
ma'am,
that answer.
Ma'am, Keela, hold on one moment. Let the chat marinate on that one for 2 seconds, okay? Also, shout out to Jane D. I hope I pronounced that right, love. To Jane D on YouTube for the $5 super chat. They said, keep it up. Thank you, love. I'll definitely give it a go. Thank you so much, guys. All right, so now, guys, we are 126 away from our daily donation goal. I'm doing the math wrong. We're 121 away from our daily donation goal, guys. 121 away from our daily donation goal. Pay links are in the bio. Everything with Erica is the name. PayPal and Venmo. I also have a Zelle. Everything with Erica. Everything with Erica9@gmail.com. I'm sorry. Age is a factor, not the Constitution, not the 22nd Amendment.
To rephrase my answer that you asked me, that question is 2028. Yes, for me, it would be a yes. Depending on how it went these next couple of years, of course, I would have to.
I'm gonna do it, Dan. You can't be fucking for real. And the reason why you can't be fucking for real, because what you just did, Keela, is you told us that you are okay with everything that Donald Trump is doing and has fucking done. You're okay with Donald Trump sending the National Guard to multiple cities in the United States to police the neighborhoods.
Yeah, because
where citizen, ma'am, don't you talk over me right now. It is not the time for you to talk over me, Keela. It is not the time for you to talk over me, Keela. What you are saying is that you are okay with putting other American citizens in harm's way, where the military, just like Kamala told us he would do, would be used against American citizens. It literally is going to happen. And when it fucking happens, the blood of that person will be on your hands. You think it's okay for Donald Trump to deport people to sea camps? Fuck it, I'm saying words tonight. You think that it's okay for Donald Trump to deport people to concentration camps? You think that that's okay? Where they have been sexually assaulted, tortured, told welcome to hell, and that they will receive a fucking life sentence for simply crossing a fucking imaginary line. And you think that that punishment fits that crime? You think it's okay? You fucking think it's okay, Keela? for people to be sent to something known as alligator Alcatraz. Like, why would they name it alligator Alcatraz if it wasn't for the fucking cruelty? You're just peachy keen with people being deported to third countries where they don't know the language, don't know the culture, they don't have anything there. And not only is it just third countries, so something that they're unfamiliar with, these are places that are actively experiencing human rights violations, that are participating in slave trades, like Uganda. That's what you're okay with. You're fucking okay. Let's take it back to America. You're fine. You're okay with Donald Trump signing a bill that will cause over 10 million American citizens, including children, to lose their Medicaid coverage. You're okay with Donald Trump signing a bill that will cause millions of children to lose access to their school's free lunch programs, which Donald Trump has also cut funding for, but they're going to lose their access because of the new requirements for their parents to actually receive SNAP benefits. You're okay with children going hungry. You're okay with that. You're okay with Donald Trump trying to ban the cashless bail system throughout the United States of America. I already know what you're saying to yourself on mute, Keela. You're likely saying you don't give a fuck. You're likely saying that it's not going to impact you. You're likely saying that it's only in Washington, D.C. And most of all, Keela, you're likely saying you don't know what the cashless bail system is. Well, let me tell you, the cashless bail system actually helps poor people, working class people, Black people, and yes, even white people not spend time locked up in jail for minor infractions like misdemeanors, all because they couldn't pay the bail. And we're not talking thousands of dollars. We're talking hundreds of dollars. We're talking $250, $500, $750, $900. Something that a lot of us in this room may think is absolutely nothing. We can come up with that like this, but not everyone can. So it allows them to actually be released and make a promise to show up for court so that they don't sit in a jail cell and lose their jobs, not be able to pay their bills, have no one to take care of their kids. And if you think that it's not going to affect you and the ones that you know, you fucking lost it. Because people can be arrested for simple minor crimes such as trespassing, loitering. They get a bail, something small, $500, can't pay it. Fucking think about it, Keela. I hope you're taking notes. Also, you don't care about children. We know you don't, because the Epstein files wasn't a hard stop for you. It just wasn't a hard stop. He told you that he was going to release those files. He was going to give you the client list. Pam Bondi even said that she had it on her desk. But when the time came to actually release those files, he didn't do it. He told you that the files didn't exist. There was nothing there. He lied to you, straight lied to you. And you don't care. And then you say that you want, oh, we're not, guys, I swear to God, I could go on. Also, this motherfucker currently has a naval battleship with over 100 Marines sitting on the coast of Venezuela right now. He also has a naval ship sitting off the coast of darn Mexico. Mexico is supposed to be an ally of ours. Right now, that's what he's doing. But you're okay with that because Donald Trump is keeping us safe? He's not starting any wars. Bitch, we're about to be in a civil war and a world war. Pay attention to what's going on around you, Keela, because you're not paying attention to what's happening. You're not. You're in a state of delusion. You really, really are. And I wish you would fucking stop it. And this is why you don't have productive conversations with Democrats, with people on the left, because you're not living in reality and you're not willing to hold Donald Trump accountable for any fucking thing. People get on my goddamn nerves. I don't understand y'all. Fucking crazy in this motherfucker. Like, he about to go into fucking cities with the National Guard, cities that don't even need it. And you're like, yeah, I'll vote for him again. I'll vote for him. He's stripping away rights from people. And you're like, oh yeah, I'll vote for him again. You know, if he's not too old. Motherfucker suffering from dementia right now. The hell's going on? Hey guys, tap the screen. Tap the screen, y'all. Do all the good things. Let's keep doing all the good things. Let's go ahead and get this up to 200,000 likes. Thank you for the hearts. All right. I think I'm going to work on something here. I don't know. I like this one. Let's just go for this one. I don't know. Just keep doing all the good things. I'm going to read some things off because, guys, I don't fucking understand anything that's happening here anymore.
Would you like me to still wait?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Baby, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Hell no.
I didn't think so. But you got 30 seconds. Go ahead. Because we're typically for Trump supporters, but you go ahead. Thank you for your patience.
I wanted to jump in is to add perspective because this is actually the work that I do. And I wanted to center as she sat here and went backwards and forth with you all. Every Trump supporter that supports Trump is because they're racist and they can't remove themselves from it. And the reason I wanted to make sure that I stated that is because of the cashless bail system is racist. And the reason for that is it became a thing after slavery was abolished in order to be able to lock people up. Literally, as we're talking about the wars and all the land that was stolen from Mexico, all of the attacks on the immigrant population is all rooted in attacks that started with Black people. The reason that we know that it's racist is, and I wanted to ask when I first got on here, is when she kept stating that the type of president that Biden was, how Biden was this and how corrupt he was, she was not able to ever give an example because there are not examples.
Exactly.
Biden will actually go down as one of the most effective modern day presidents we have. And I'm not a fan of his because of Palestine, but the truth is the truth. And he's one of the most effective modern day presidents in spite of having to come in and clean up Donald Trump's mess. Exactly. So the reason that Keela and many people can ignore all the other things is because they buy into the scam of white supremacy. And they believe the social construct of whiteness is what's going to protect them. What they're not realizing is the same way only about 2% of the population own slaves. Only 2% of the population has enhanced the wealth. And it was the other 98% of white people that suffered alongside everybody else. And the reason that there are safety nets is because of the contributions of Black people to this particular country. So understanding that a lot of things that are set apart from the actual government is because Black people had to create those things because they weren't allowed to get things from the government. Speaking of things like free lunch, that was something that was created by the Black Panther Party for the Black community, and the government took it on. So in understanding that also when it comes to SNAP and other programs that they are losing, they're going to be more impacted, but they're okay with it because they think that it's a protection for them. So what I need them to buck up and see and understand is that this will always be it is a war of, it's not a race war, it's a class war. And so understanding that they utilize race to make white people be okay with being a part of the lower class instead of understanding how to empower themselves. So she can debate all day long and however she wants to. But the thing that infuriated people the most is because of the support of other people. Biden deported more people than Trump. Trump is bankrupting our country right now. It costs $16,500 just to pick a person up. And the private prison industry is cleaning up. They're actually literally grifting us with all of these deportations. And my final point is, it is my organization along with others who filed the lawsuit as it relates to alligator Alcatraz. First, let's discuss it. It is just like white people who used to dress up during civil rights movement and doing lynchings, and they would dress up in their Sunday best, come take pictures and send out merchandise. It is the exact same thing. But even with alligator Alcatraz, the reason that it is closing is not because of the lack of humanity. We literally had to argue that all of the environmental things were actually not done in order to ensure that it was actually safe. So it wasn't that they even care about the humanity of people. It literally is about the environment. But while I'm here, I want to be clear that there are 2 detention centers that are less than 30 miles away that have over 2,000 immigrants, and most of them are Black immigrants. And we're not having that conversation. So for all those who take the time to want to argue the point that they are not racist, if you support Donald Trump, you are wholeheartedly racist, and you said it with your chest with your vote.
There you go. There you go. Thank you so much. I sent you a follow because we want to do a thing in regards to speaking to organizers, especially Black women organizers. So I sent you a follow, and once I have more information about it from the actual organizer, I'll reach out to you about it.
Thank you so much.
Follows you back for sure. Thank you so much for coming over because that word was definitely needed. Thank you, community. I appreciate you, love. Because I'm going to give Keela an opportunity to respond. But guys, I do want to read off a few things first, but also take a moment while I'm reading them off to follow community. I want to make sure I say your whole name, Community Troublemaker. I know that's right. Give them a follow. Give them a follow, please. All right. So just hang out right there. I'm going to read these off and then we'll give the floor to Keela, unfortunately. I missed this. I'm so sorry. Alaskan, you was lighting up Venmo and I didn't even know. I'm so sorry, love. I am so sorry. Alaska said sent $20 earlier that said not this bitch. Yep, not this bitch. Also, Alaska sent over $4 and said so was cutting off USAID, part of his caring for kids and others dying abroad, because now he's causing more harm than any other. Fuck Trump and F you for your harmful, idiotic self. I'm just a messenger. Also, they said Donald Jackass Trump could fuck. Good God, y'all language people. Jesus Christ. Okay. Donald Jackass Trump could fuck a duck and you would blame the duck for what it was wearing. Guys, I hope y'all only notice I only do a lot of cursing when I'm in the moment. Outside of the moments, I don't be cursing. All right. But thank you so much, Alaskan. I should have read that like 3 minutes ago. Thank you so much. Also, what else do we have here? All right. Shout out to Ernest for the $10. Ernest said, and on top of all that, she said, fuck the Constitution with support in a third term. What the actual fuck? True that part. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And why are we doing it? Literally. Why are we doing it? I believe I have one more, guys. I'm going to try to read it. But we're taking this opportunity to cool down, guys. We're taking this opportunity to cool down. That's what we're going to be doing. Because what are we doing? And why are we even fucking doing it? Seriously. How do we even get here? Shout out to Anthony for the 25. Anthony said, just because. Well, I appreciate the just because. Thank you so much, Anthony. Drop some hearts in the chat for Ernest, Anthony, and also for Miss Ball, because I forgot earlier. So Miss Deb, my lady, along with Lindsay, and also Alaskan Fury. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to do math in just a moment. Keela, I am giving the floor to you to respond. I know that was a lot, but go ahead and respond. Floor is yours. All right. Send your request to unmute, love. It's yours.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm, we can hear you.
Okay, I was saying that I have enjoyed, I know I'm not very popular, but I have enjoyed talking to you. But to respond, and this is probably going to be the last thing that you're going to want me to say, I'm sure, is that there would be no Alcatraz if there wasn't Biden letting thousands into the country. We wouldn't be in this position in the first place.
Dan, it's your turn.
What did Joe Biden do differently than Donald Trump in his first term?
I just said that Joe Biden let thousands into this country.
What do you mean by let? How did he what did he do different?
Open borders.
Is the border a gate? Did he open the door? What was different? What did he do?
What do you mean, what did he do? Thousands were coming into the country, affecting American citizens.
How did Joe Biden?
We couldn't handle the load. We couldn't even handle the load.
I understand what you're saying. There were a lot of people coming to this country. Okay, what did Joe Biden do differently than Donald Trump did in Donald Trump's term?
He's the one who made the decision to do that. He was part of it.
Wait, okay. He was. Be very specific. What did he drive a bus to carry?
Exactly what he does, but I know that I was probably under his orders. Was it not? Or am I wrong?
It was not. Believe it or not, other people that are not a part of our government coming to this country, either legally or illegally, don't really have anything to do with Joe Biden. So unless he changed some kind of policy that made it happen.
Couldn't he have not closed the border? He has the
border
power
was
to
closed,
do that,
ma'am.
right?
Ma'am, the border was closed. This is the big common lie that is told, and we already know that you just believe whatever right-wing media tells you, because you have all the right-wing talking points and yet don't know why a president of the United States was impeached. So we already know what echo chamber you're in. So I hear this all the time. I've been doing these debates and these conversations for over a year now, and I hear this all the time. Biden opened the border. And my question, I always ask, well, what did he do specifically? What law did he change? And there's never an answer. Never, ever, ever. And the reason there's never an answer is because Biden didn't do anything differently. The only thing that changed was we had a once-in-a-century pandemic that led to a mass migration of people to this country for better opportunities or whatever the reason might be. And that, believe it or not, started during the end of Donald Trump's term. It started in March of 2020, and Donald Trump doesn't even want to take credit for the bad things Donald Trump does. As we see with the chart that he would hold up at his rallies, at all his big, beautiful rallies, he would hold up a chart that would point to March of 2020 saying, Trump leaves office. And then the massive spike of migration would come in March of 2020 onward, even though Donald Trump didn't leave office until January of 2021. So yes, there were more migrants in the early pandemic years, especially 2022 was the peak, okay? But when we ask, what did Joe Biden do differently? There's never an answer. So go ahead.
I assumed that Joe Biden was involved in the opening of the border. The troopers of the state border patrol troopers weren't even able to enforce and do their job. And I thought that was related
That's a lie.
to the administration.
I have to stop you right there. The state border enforcement not being able to do their jobs, if you could provide me a single source on that, I'll become a Republican today, and I will be a Trump supporter today. That is not true. That is a complete lie. The only thing that happened differently from Donald Trump's first administration to Joe Biden's first administration was that more people came to the border due to the after effects of the pandemic. That is the only thing different. If you want to complain about the asylum-seeking process and how we allow too many people to come in, if you want to complain about how many Border Patrol agents we have, well, there was a solution on the table. We had a bipartisan border bill.
I know about the solution.
I'm going to cut you off really quickly before you say had Ukraine aid in it. They took it out and they separated it because I know I already know exactly who you are. I know who you are. You're programmed. I know what your answers are going to be. So
propagandized.
They separated it was a standalone bill, which would have made it so that fewer people could apply for asylum because the process would be more restrictive. It would have made it so that the people that are here on asylum would be processed faster. Some of them prior to that bill would have had to wait years, and this would make the wait under 6 months. So that
I don't think that was the solution. I don't think that was a good.
Okay, so nothing is the solution. Copy.
No, I don't think that was the solution to take 5,000 per day.
Yeah, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm sorry. I interrupt when there's a lie being told. There is not 5,000 per day. Even the writer of the bill pushed back on this. And I have a beautiful clip that I can play for you. It's not going to matter because it's not coming from Trump's mouth. It's coming from a different Republican's mouth. So he must be a rhino. But he literally said that this is a lie online. The law stated that if there was ever a point where the amount of people coming to the border exceeded 5,000, that gave the president the ability to close the border. You know what the limit was before that law?
Are you talking about when the borders were open?
Ma'am.
I mean,
the phrase open border and closed border, I need you to remove them from your lexicon. Lexicon is a big word for vocabulary. Vocabulary is a big word for words. Because there is no open or closed border. The border has been closed since its inception.
Yeah. Well, I think it's semantics here. I think it's semantics. When you see people coming across, not vetted, not having to show anything like us Americans do to have to go anywhere, it's just a common word.
Let's add two very important points. We talk about immigrants coming across the border. So number one, I want us to stop talking about people coming across the border because the people who never should have come across the border are white people. And they're the ones that came and destroyed this country, which was already a developed nation. And I hate when you keep saying they should come over legally like we did. At the time that your people came over, there were not any laws in place in order to have to do that. And the reason that the laws were actually created is because your people that came over stole land. So let's be clear, this is all about land theft. The points I want to make about immigrants that we shouldn't have to make because the data speaks for itself is number one, especially immigrants that are undocumented that come here, they don't benefit from our systems, but they pay into them. So literally, they pay into our Social Security system, they pay into our Medicare system, and they get no benefits from those systems whatsoever. They've paid in the last 10 years over $155 billion to keep our systems going. In addition to that, they actually stimulate economies. So especially an economy in the state that I live in, it is 92% sales tax is what funds our state. So that it doesn't matter if you're here documented or undocumented, you actually pay into the state. You know who does not pay into the state? The millionaires and the billionaires who have property here who don't live here. I want to make sure that we center that. Let's talk about crime, because we also utilize that as this factor, this imaginary factor to keep undocumented and documented people out. The biggest people that commit crime are white men. So let's talk about it, especially serious crime. So if we're really going to talk about keeping America safe, we really need to dig deep and actually look at the actual data and what it actually tells us. We like to cherry pick one or two examples and justify that and speak for everyone. And it's disgusting. And it's even more disgusting because that's what we actually do for Black people. But just today, there was an actual shooting at a school in Minnesota. And what you all want us to do is to see that shooter as one person, but whenever it's Black or an immigrant person, you want to look at the communities as a whole. So let's really talk about and be real. So as he wants to be nice and say, take it out of your lexicon, you're letting your racism show by trying to cherry pick what you want to discuss instead of discussing real things.
Damn. That part. I'm just going to get this off. Thank you so much, Patricia, for the $10 super chat over on YouTube. Keep educating the intentionally uninformed. We're trying. We are trying. Thank you so much, Patricia. We are definitely trying. So, Keila, why is that?
Why is what?
Why is that? Why are your racism? Why do you want to group everyone else into the same category? But when it comes to, let's say, the white man, Donald Trump, he's an individual.
Well, I don't think of Donald Trump as a white. When I think of Trump, I don't think white. I don't think of people by color.
Okay. Do you see color?
No, because I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised like that.
Wait, if that's the case, why do you care about it? What's the problem?
I mean, I wasn't raised like that in my family. We didn't have any of that.
Why do you care about? That's a good question that Dan just asked you. Why do you care about immigrants coming into the country then? If you don't see color, all right, and people are just people, why do you care?
I have a multi. I have no.
Give us a number one.
Why do I have people?
Why do you have a no? I'm sorry, I misheard you. My apologies. Why do you care about immigrants coming into the country, ma'am?
It's the way that it's happening. They come into the country, they're given all these perks. They're taken care of, and that is not a fact.
That's a lie.
Let's learn something from community.
Okay, so listen. Are you aware? Let me ask you this: are you aware that FEMA?
Can you just
before you aware that FEMA gave $54 million? And they were taking. I'm trying to tell you that they have in New York City. They're taking over all the hotels. They're putting them up and paying for them. They're giving them.
You ain't believe. You ain't met a lie that you don't believe.
It's true though. It's been all. It's been proven.
Not true.
It is true.
That is a bold-faced lie, and the truth is not in you.
Do you remember that? Do you remember when they first?
No. Let's talk about FEMA.
Let Keila respond.
Part of my job.
You made a claim.
So a part of my job is hurricane preparation, recovery, and mitigation. And so that means we work very closely with FEMA. People who are not documented are not eligible for FEMA. That's the first thing. The second thing I want you to know and understand is FEMA is actually secondary to the actual organizations that are in your community. And FEMA comes in because we call FEMA in. So let's be very, very clear with that. Additionally, with FEMA is racist as fuck. So literally when FEMA goes into a community, it goes into Black communities and brown communities last. And this is not someone talking out of the side of my ass. This is literally the job that I do. So literally I'm a part of a national work group. We just had a meeting on today, and we meet with people right now that we're the people helping with recovery in Texas because Republican legislators let them down. We're the people helping in Texas because people from Mexico came for recovery and they decided to try to detain them because their racism was more important than taking care of their people. We are in Florida, and $486 million of FEMA funds was used to throw together alligator Alcatraz, which can no longer be used. And we still have hurricanes that might come until October. We don't fully know what's going on with hurricanes because of the Trump administration getting rid of NOAA because we don't want people to be prepared. So let's be very clear, because they want to take over who has the contracts so that they can get their friends in there and so that they can actually get paid and not have quality for people. They want to disband FEMA so that way they can hold these things hostage in order to get people to do what it is that they want them to do. So yes, let's talk about FEMA, but if we're going to talk about it, let's tell the truth. And what I'm challenging you to do is, when you leave this live tonight, go to ChatGPT or Google and learn how to do actual research and do critical thinking and come out of the vacuum that you're in. You're insulting yourself and us by refusing.
Calm down.
Hey, don't tell her to calm down. There's
down.
no need for her to do that. She's perfectly fine.
Well, I'm just saying that
you're not. No. It's not. That's not any just saying. You're not going to tell this woman
I'm
to
saying
calm down.
that it was some corporate people it was.
I want you to acknowledge something before we continue on. You're not going to tell her to calm down.
Well, she's yelling at me.
She's not yelling at you. She's speaking assertively. She's not yelling.
I know that they're passionate. I know she's passionate about what she's saying.
Your microaggression is showing, Keila.
Of why I don't subscribe to respectability, because that is appealing to the morals of people who don't have any. And I'm not going to do that.
White supremacy.
And that is exactly what it is. Yep. And it's main character syndrome. You want to center yourself because you feel uncomfortable about what I'm saying. You're not uncomfortable because I'm speaking assertively. You're feeling uncomfortable because I'm challenging your entire thought process, and I'm doing it with actual facts and not opinion.
That part. The floor is down yours, Keila.
I was just saying that it was the corporate people at the top that took these funds and misused them, and they were found out, and it was people at the top. So the fact that FEMA goes and helps, they have a lot of issues with, they don't help these people, they don't have to help these people. In this particular case, the millions of dollars were taken to help the migrants. In this particular case, to put them up in certain places, in this particular place in New York, and everybody knows it. So that's a problem, with why I have a problem. You asked me why do I, to the original question, you asked me why I have a problem with migrants, coming into the country. I think it's overwhelming how it's affected the country. That's why.
Okay, so really quick, I just want to make sure you paid attention, community. If this will be real quick, I just want to make sure that you paid attention to what Community Troublemaker said when you brought up that the migrants get all of these benefits, and Community Troublemaker pointed out that they pay into Social Security and Medicare that they will never get out. Did you hear that? Did you process it? I just want to make sure that you heard that before we continue.
Yeah, I heard what you said.
Okay, so you understand that they're not receiving more benefits than they are paying into the tax system. You understand that?
I don't think that you're understanding what I'm saying. I'm talking about them coming over.
I know what you're talking about. I just need to hear you say it, because otherwise
you're telling me that they don't receive anything from us, but yet when they get here, they're given stuff from us on taxpayers' shoulders.
Okay. And
so what I'm going to challenge you to do, because you're adamant about it, is go find your source. It's just absolutely not true. And that's what he's trying to get you to understand. And that's why he wants to know, as you heard what I said, it is absolutely not true. So let me tell you who's getting things on taxpayers' dime. Millionaires and billionaires. With the big, beautiful bill, they all get a tax cut starting at least $90,000 each. They're increasing our deficit by $4.4 trillion in just the next year and a half. The things that they're taking away from people is so unpopular that they're actually not going to roll them out into 2026 after midterm elections. One of the reasons that they're now trying to redraw maps is because they know what they're doing is unpopular, but it's a money grab before people can really wake up and see actually what it is. These are actual data points that you can actually go look up when you're looking up if immigrants actually get the things that are being sold to you that they do not get. The biggest welfare recipients are millionaires and billionaires. The final point that I'm going to ask you to go look up is we used to tax our top 2%. There used to be 500 billionaires in the United States. Now there are 2,500. And what happened is with Ronald Reagan and Reaganomics is when we stopped taxing our wealthiest people. When we tax the wealthiest people in our community, that's when people were able to go and work jobs like at assembly lines and be able to take care of their families. That's when the cost of living was actually down. That's when housing was actually affordable. That's when we actually had quality roads. So I need you to understand these are actual facts, and these are the things that you need to lean into. You keep telling me about rhetoric, and what I'm challenging you to do is actually come out of that bubble and specifically go look these things up.
Okay, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do that.
So if
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, if it becomes the case,
I'm willing
you
to
look
do
into
that. I'm
No,
usually
Dan's speaking. Dan, let Dan speak, and then you can respond. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to ask a question. If it becomes the case, you look into it and you find out actually undocumented immigrants pay more into the tax system than they take out. In fact, in 2022 alone, which is the peak year for migrants, undocumented immigrant households paid $46.8 billion in federal taxes and $29.3 billion in state and local taxes. They also contributed $22.6 billion to Social Security and $5.7 billion to Medicare. But let's say you go and you find these numbers yourself and you realize that they're actually paying more into the system than taking out. And you go and you research it and you find out that they're actually committing way less crime than Native Americans or American citizens. I won't even say Native because they're not Native. But the white people that we're referring to in America commit way more crime. Citizens commit way more crime than undocumented immigrants. You look into this and you see that every undocumented immigrant that does come in at the border and applies for asylum is getting vetted. But despite what the media tells you, you look into it and you discover all these things. Will you still have a problem with the border crisis, quote unquote?
Before I answer that, I think we've overlooked one little thing here. The amount of people that were coming in here. Also, there's the fact that there was the dangerous part of it, which we haven't touched on. There was people we had no idea who they were. We're not just talking about hardworking people that, work hard and they're here and they're trying to get asylum, this and that. We're talking about people that came over that we knew nothing about, that were dangerous. Possibly.
How do we know nothing about them?
I'm just saying, I think that was part of the fear. I think there's a lot of fear that went on.
Fear of the unknown, because you guys don't know anything. But when you say we don't know anything about them, who is they? Are they coming over at ports of entry, or are they coming over the border?
It wasn't just Mexican people. It was people from all over the world.
Didn't mention Mexican people at all.
How are
they, okay, so walk me through it. How are they getting here that we don't know anything about them? Give me an example.
I'm talking about the ones that came all at the same time.
How? Where? Tell me how. How did they come in?
Oh, I don't know. The water. I don't know. Flown maybe.
Right, so they're coming in on the water.
We had people from China. We had people from China coming here.
I thought you just said we don't know where they're coming from. I'm sorry. Wait, you're confused.
I don't know where they're coming from.
You just said they're from China.
Didn't you not see all that, or is it just my imagination?
All right. So when you say you saw it, you're saying you saw videos of humans in water crossing the border. That's what you're referring to.
Not just that. They were walking from where, I don't know where they originally came from and how they got to where they were, but their
Border
goal was
Security
to get
didn't
into
stop
the
them.
States.
And Border Security didn't stop them.
Yeah, no.
They didn't stop them. Okay. So those are the people you're talking about. The people you saw on
And then
YouTube
they were getting
videos.
on buses provided to them.
Perfect.
Put on planes thrown here and there, provided to
that
them.
one has been so debunked. The planes flown in, that's been so debunked. If I send you a source right now, oh my God, that says from Donald Trump saying, actually, I lied about this. Please tell me. If Donald Trump says there were no planes, actually, I lied about this, will you finally stop using that talking point?
Oh, so the video, is it AI videos at night with planes coming in the middle of the night when people are sleeping? Is that AI generated?
He's on a plane, man, I'm going to lose it. Oh, okay.
I don't want you to lose
I give you permission.
Erica, I love you. Kayla, please follow some brain cells or something. I don't know how else to get through this. Like, this
You're
is
laughing. He's very serious.
You're not real.
You're not.
Erica,
You're not.
Can I ask her the question?
Sure, go ahead.
You know the question I'm talking about?
Go ahead, ask it. I'm listening.
Okay. This is going to be a little bit of a off-topic question. The same election is held, exactly the same in 2024. Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump. Everything's the same. The border's the same. The economy is the same. The debate is the same. The interviews are the same. The only difference is that we have a video of Donald Trump sexually assaulting a child. Who do you vote for?
You have a video of Donald Trump sexually assaulting a child?
In the hypothetical I just proposed to you.
Well, of course
Everything is
I
the
wouldn't
same.
vote for that.
Who would you vote for?
I wouldn't vote for that.
Who would you vote for?
What do you
Would you
mean?
vote
Would
for
I
Kamala
go?
Harris?
I'd probably be an independent.
Would you vote for Kamala Harris?
No.
That's what I thought. Okay. Everyone have a good night except for this guy. Thank you.
But I wouldn't vote for Trump
Fucking
either.
knew it. Fucking knew it. Fucking knew it.
I wouldn't vote for
Community.
Trump either. Doesn't that make a difference?
No, it doesn't make
It
a
doesn't.
difference because
Why?
Kamala is highly more qualified than Trump.
Extremely.
So literally her track
Well, that's
record
a
alone.
matter of opinion.
No, it's
It
not a
doesn't-
matter
No,
of
it's not a
opinion.
matter of
It's a
opinion.
matter
It's
of
literally facts. It's
literally a fact.
facts.
That's not.
She was the
it's not.
attorney general of the most populated state in our country, and she did a damn good job
woman
at it. She
can
also
have
served as a
The
district
woman can hold
attorney. She also
conversations
was a U.S.
with us.
senator. All right.
She
No,
didn't
your
have
thing is that you
energy.
do identity politics. Is your thing. All right. You never once talked about a policy of Donald Trump's as to why you voted for him. It was always you felt sorry for him because he was being attacked. That's
didn't
what you
feel-
talked
I
about,
didn't
and you
feel
liked the
sorry for
way
him.
that he handled the reporters. You didn't talk about anything that he actually did as president in his first term. That's not what you did. Now you're sitting here telling us
Are you
that
talking
Kamala
about his
Harris
first
isn't
term?
qualified, ma'am. I'm speaking. Please be quiet. Now you're sitting here talking and saying that Kamala Harris wasn't qualified because she couldn't hold a conversation. When Kamala Harris was able to answer questions at the drop of a dime, eloquently, with professionalism, without calling people names, without talking down on people, something Donald Trump has yet to accomplish. If you want to talk about how people speak, do we need to pay video of Donald Trump speaking? Because when asked about childcare and what he plans to do to help Americans with daycare costs, the man rambles on for 3 minutes and ends with childcare is childcare. There are more examples of this, and you know that there are more examples of this. You're choosing to be willfully ignorant. You're choosing to also be willfully obtuse. I do not like the willfully ignorant. It's something I can't tolerate. I have no tolerance for it.
I wouldn't
Because when
say
you
willfully-
are willfully ignorant. What are we
I
doing?
wouldn't say that. I don't. I wouldn't. That's not. I can't help how I feel.
Ma'am, am I the first person on the left that you've spoken to about these things? Yes or no?
No.
I'm not. How many? You can name them. How many have you spoken to?
Well, just not that many. Well, I have a couple. Well, just the people.
Tell the
just
truth and shame the devil.
No, I mean the people. My friends, we're all Republicans. So if we talk about.
No. How many more
You mean
creators
Democrats?
on TikTok
Oh,
on the
I see.
left have you spoken to?
So recently I just found out about you guys. There's a few of you that are doing this, and I've talked to the two other ones. I believe one is the young guy, Dean, and the other one is Parker.
So
They
you're
do-
telling me, I guess next up is going to be Santana, because you're telling me that you've spoken to Dean
Mhm.
and Parker,
Yeah.
had these conversations with them, and you're still believing the lies that Donald Trump has told you? You're still believing that Kamala Harris wasn't more qualified than Donald Trump to be president? You're still believing that Kamala Harris would have us in a worse off position than Donald Trump?
Absolutely, I do.
You spoken to Johnny also?
No, I don't know who that is.
Okay, I'm gonna say that. So you're still believing that. That's why I know you're not actually willing to change. You're not willing to change. You're okay. You're okay with staying ignorant. I don't have any tolerance for that. I don't have space for people who are not willing to learn. It's not genuine.
Well, how can
Because
I?
what is giving?
don't
No, Keela, I'm not
agree.
finished. Keela, I breathed in so I can continue to talk. Okay. What is giving, Keela, is that you literally just want to get off your talking points, because if you spoke to two, and I'm going to say it, if you spoke to two of the biggest creators in the debate talk space, both like get across their accounts with over millions of followers,
Mhm.
and you didn't do any research, you don't want to do any research. You don't want to fact check. You don't want to know the truth, Keela. You're okay in your delusion. And I'm going to let you have that delusion. I hope you have a good night.
Okay.
Anywho, shout out to my name twin. Shout out to my name twin for the $20. Thank you so much, Dr. Still. I appreciate you for the 20. Yes, she does in fact need to be studied. Trump supporters, the fucking docu-series that we are going to have on you all in about 10 years, it's going to be it's not going to be must-watch TV. It's not going to be must-watch TV because we're all fucking experiencing it. Maybe our kids will watch it. But we lived it. We lived it. This is absolutely... Oh, Bubba said no, they won't, so never mind. Whew, Lord Jesus. Community troublemaker, I want to thank you so much for gracing my platform with your presence. I am very, very grateful. Just thank you so very much. And we will definitely be in contact, love. Just thank you times infinity. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you all.
Of course, love. You have a great night, love. Thank you for coming up. All right. Hey, y'all, draw some hearts in the chat for community troublemaker, y'all. Draw some hearts in the chat. Whoo, Dan, that was a toughie. That was a lot.
So I don't really have any more comments on that person, because I mean that's honestly par for the course. That's MAGA nowadays.
Yep.
Not really anything surprising. I did after taking a couple minutes to cool off. I remembered something I did want to mention. After she said that, barring his age, she would be down to vote for a third term of Donald Trump, and you said something along the lines of like, how did we get here where people don't even care about the Constitution?
Exactly.
I actually have my answer for the most part. I think obviously it's racism, but specifically how we got here is Mitch McConnell was able to hold a Supreme Court seat for 13 months.
Yep.
Despite the fact that the Constitution dictates that it is Barack Obama's right to nominate a justice, he was able to hold that seat for 13 months. And evangelicals in this country, which at the time were on the fence about Trump because of the type of person he was, and were more into someone like Ted Cruz or et cetera, and could have potentially seen themselves sitting out, were activated due to this open Supreme Court seat. And that led to the least popular candidate in presidential history winning the 2016 election, which snowballed into where we are now. And if you're wondering how wait, Dan, but you said it was racism. How does the seat in relation to the Roe v. Wade have to do with racism? Well, back in 1978, a man named Paul Weyrich discovered that in order for conservatives to continue winning elections, now that it was clear after the election loss of people like Barry Goldwater that they can no longer run on racism, they needed a way to activate the Southern racist vote in this country for the Republican Party. So they developed this idea of to use the AB word. I
use abortion over here.
Okay, just making sure. They developed this idea that abortion is this moral crime that Christians should be really worried about, despite the fact that most Christian leaders prior to this period, other than Catholics, had no problem with abortion, had no issues with abortion. It was not a big part of any kind of church rhetoric or anything like that. 1978, Paul Weyrich uses this rhetoric to flip some seats in the midterms. And then in 1980, Ronald Reagan and conservatives use his advice and use his playbook to make abortion a core issue. And that then snowballed into the seat being held open, which activated a large portion of the base, which otherwise wouldn't have voted for somebody that grabs women by their you-know-whats.
Yep.
And that's where we are today. It was all because Republicans could not give up the racist Southern voter. And yeah.
There we go. Not only that, but we can talk about, of course, the Southern strategy, because they knew that they couldn't run on racism anymore. So they started using coded language like states' rights.
You know what, Erica? I've forgotten so much about how bad Trump is than Trump voters even knew in the first place. That's
true.
But yeah, so in 2020, I'll briefly go over the OPEC deal. In 2020, gas prices had tanked because supply and demand. There was not a lot of demand, given that nobody was flying anywhere, nobody was driving anywhere. So gas prices were under $2. And what Donald Trump did, rather than just saying, okay, well, a lot of Americans are going through it right now, right? And maybe, just maybe, I would allow Americans to pay a little bit less for gas. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look out for the oil industry, and I'm going to look out for ExxonMobil, and I'm going to look out for my buddies in Saudi Arabia and everyone else at OPEC. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them, hey, do me a favor and start producing less gas so that we can artificially inflate the price of gas. But don't start until after the election, and it's going to last for 2 years.
Yep.
So we see the increase in price of gas when Biden gets into office, and then all the knuckle draggers come in and say, look what Biden did to gas, look what Biden did to the economy, blah, 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 blah. So why would I expect you, knowing all that, I don't know if you did or if you are now learning it, to then hold them accountable when the tariffs lead to shrinking the GDP, when the tariffs lead to potentially more stock market crashes? Because I don't know if you know this, but stock market has crashed less and less and less every time he proposes tariffs, because now they literally in Wall Street they call him Taco Trump, because he always chickens out.
Yep.
Trump always chickens out. So the first time, April 3rd and April 4th, if you go back to the very first Liberation Day, as he called it, and then he backed out, that crash has been recovered from, and then he had a new proposal for tariffs, and then the crash was a little bit less because people were like, is he really going to do it? And then he pulled out of those again, and then he did a little bit less, and he pulled out of those again, and all the tariffs that are
keeps happening.
The tariffs that
you gotta
are,
give him a chance to respond. Look,
I'm sorry. There's just so much.
It's so much because like everyone in the chat is like housing, guys. We gotta give them a chance. And there's so much. Like we could go over housing. Like Trump deregulated the housing market. He removed the 30-day hold that investors had to wait. I'm gonna keep it short like that. Basically inflating the housing market, causing the value of homes to go up, which is known as the market value. So there's that. But go ahead, Scott. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You don't have to do that.
A fraction of the time.
You don't have to do that.
The last guy
just
had.
Respond. You don't have to do that. Just respond.
If
it wasn't so much to actually talk about, then Dan wouldn't have had to have spoken for as long as he did. But it was just a whole hell of a lot to cover. So there's that. Because he didn't even touch on how Donald Trump plays tariffs on Canadian lumber, increasing the cost to purchase a home. He didn't even talk about that.
No, but
I want you to address. I do want you to address what he actually said.
Yeah, I'm going to try to, but I mean, there's so much there. I'm just going to get to the
exactly. That's the point.
But once again, so we rewind history and maybe present it a little differently than the previous guy did, because obviously he left out a lot of important facts. Clearly, so prior to 2017,
yeah, he couldn't fit all the negative stuff that Donald Trump did.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get to it. 2017. What was the name of that bill? The Jobs. I forget the name of the act. What's that?
Tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
Yes, that bill. Right. That bill was so bad, the Democrats had an opportunity to get rid of it, and they didn't. Right, because that's how bad that bill was. So when Biden came in the office, when he had an opportunity to get rid of that bill, and the Democrats had a ability to get rid of that, they didn't.
Just so we're clear.
Your first point is right there.
No, I'm sorry.
Garbage.
Really quick. Just so we're clear. If Biden did get rid of stuff, then you'll acknowledge that the stuff he got rid of was good? You
need to acknowledge that the fact that he didn't get rid of it means it was good.
Okay. How about you go over the merits of the bill rather than saying that because the Democrats didn't get rid of it? Because the Democrats didn't get rid of it. It was expiring in 2028 anyway, 2025 anyway. And even if they wanted to get rid of it, there was a whole ass pandemic to deal with at the time. And they didn't have the votes anyway. But let's say,
how do you not have the votes? It's a reconciliation. They had Congress. The first 2 years is called reconciliation. Just what the Republicans just did again by passing it again.
I know you don't know anything about Congress. I know you don't know anything about who Joe Manchin is or who Kristen Sinema is. I know you don't. But even still, you're trying to argue that the only reason that the tax bill was good was because Biden didn't get rid of it. Please talk about why it was good. Go ahead, Scott.
That's a fact, because the first 2 years under Donald Trump before C-19 came around,
so it was only
guess
good
what?
Because
life was good. Life was expanding. Growth was faster than under Obama.
Yes,
right?
thank you, Obama.
He lit a match. No, Obama. I'm not ripping on Obama. His economy went up. It was slow growth. What, a couple percent
We actually
GDP?
saw that in 2018, when the tax bill, like when they first could take numbers from the TCJA, that the government actually collected less in revenue.
No, I agree. That's a
Right.
problem. I mean, that's a piece of a problem that Trump didn't address in his first administration, which was the deficit. So, I mean, but the good that came from the bill, there was good that came from it, in part of the bad, which obviously has to be the deficit spending. I mean, I get it. But you can't acknowledge any good that came from it, like as if growth wasn't better because of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, right? Things were great. C-19 came along in Kapawi. Now we had a problem, right? But part of that problem, which you neglected to bring up, was
I'm sorry. I
Donald
have an
Trump
incredulous face. I apologize to you, Scott. You know what? I'm gonna be quiet. I had an incredulous face because of what you just said in regards to my statement on the TCJA in 2018 not collecting collecting less revenue than proposed or Donald Trump promised. And then you mentioned the deficit. I don't know why you mentioned the deficit, because the TCJA added to the deficit. And one of the things that Donald Trump promised with the TCJA is that it would increase the government revenue, basically mitigating the impact on the deficit.
yeah, I'm agreeing
So,
with you on that point.
okay, all right, just making sure. I'm trying to hear the good stuff. That's what
Right.
I'm trying to
Also-
do. So I'm gonna be quiet.
Just a really quick fact check about how it increased growth. The GDP growth pretty much remained consistent in the final years of Obama and the beginning years of Trump. I can tell you what the numbers are
Tell
right
me
now.
the numbers, please do.
2013,
Yes.
yeah. So 2013, 2.2% growth. 2014, 2.52% growth. 2015, 2.95% growth. Then we have a drop to 1.82% in 2016. 2017, back up to 2.46%. 2018, 2.97%. And then the first full year where we have the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act effect, 2.58%. 2.58% is basically the average of the second administration. I don't understand. None of these broke 3%. We're talking about differences of 0.2% total, and you were willing to add trillions to the deficit to do that?
Yeah.
So
Because
Scott,
where it brings us.
I'm so sorry, Scott. I don't want to do this. I'm going to read these off, and then the floor is yours. Shout out to Dean for the $5. Dean said Biden couldn't get rid of the TCJA because it was a 10-year law. There's caveats to that, but shout out to Dean for it. Thank you so much. Also, shout out to Marissa for the 10. Marissa said, keep schooling these folks. I can't say the D word, Marissa, but thank you so very much. I appreciate you, love. All right, guys. So that leaves us with only $10 left in our day. Called super chat, a super chat. If I can get the silly Wi-Fi to work in my darn gone house, like, what are we doing? YouTube, we should be back up and running. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Forgive me for my DNC mobile. I apologize to you all. I'm sorry. Now, with that being said, guys, let's keep doing it. Let's get this up to 350,000 likes before we head on out of here. Also, guys, let's go ahead and knock out the DJ thing so I can say silly stuff like, I'm a DJ. All right. And also continue to show Dan love, because I forced him to be here. I forced Dan to be here. And guess what? He's still here. So I'm so happy. It makes me happy, Dan. All right. So, guys, just let's keep doing all of the good things. Scott, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm just going to ask Dan a really quick question, because he was talking about C-19, obviously the country suffered from. You completely blamed it on Trump, right? Do you not attribute any blame to any Democrat governors across the country for their policies?
I mean, we could talk on how different states manage things. I definitely was not a fan of the way Cuomo managed things in New York, but I don't know. I don't know why any of that would negate the things I said. All the things I said were demonstrable things that Trump did or didn't do. Now, in certain states, things could have been worse or better depending on the governors. Yes, but that does not change.
Does that not affect the economic outlook of the U.S. depending on governors shutting their states down for how long, and what rules and everything else?
Yeah, certainly. Or are you trying to say that? Are you trying to say that Trump's policies are less important than what the states did?
No, I was trying to get to the point where you said that, like, well, Trump's do nothing policies were horrible, and actually, that to me, if everybody did nothing, that would have been the better policy.
Well, oh yeah,
because ultimately that's the world we live in today.
I know MAGA doesn't
right?
care about people's lives. Yeah, of course. For the economy,
that's the world we live in today. We still are living with it. We still have it, and that's what we're dealing with.
I know that MAGA is totally fine with just doing a full 1.5% cull of the population if it means that you guys can continue to go to bars whenever you want. I know that, but what I also know is that there's a lot of Americans that kind of like have empathy and care about human lives. So most of us were willing to, yeah. Most of us
can't stop the reality that 99% of the population is going to contract it at some point in time. It's just a question of when, not if.
Yeah. Okay. So Scott, I love that you meant Dad. Could you mute your? I think Dad, just mute your mic real quick with some static.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it is static. Okay.
Yeah, Scott. So you are paying attention. A big part of the death toll and a big part of why we wanted to lock down in the first place. And when I say we, I don't just mean Democratic governors. I mean literally everyone, including Trump, at least at the beginning. A big part was because we wanted to flatten the curve. We knew that hospitals would not be able to handle the influx of patients, and that would lead to more people dying. So yes, if 99% of the population is going to contract it, we still want to lower the death count by making sure that they can be treated. This also doesn't take into account the tens of thousands of people that died because they couldn't get whatever scans they might have needed for different illnesses, whatever treatment they might have needed because the hospitals were all dealing with C-19. All of this factors in to the death toll that we ended up having. Yes, of course, I'm not going to blame Donald Trump for the pandemic happening, but his policies exacerbated it, both in terms of death toll and in terms of the economy.
No, the fact that anybody thinks that they could have changed it with their policy, to me, is asinine. Like, yeah, we would have saved lives if we were in charge. This person wouldn't have. I mean, to me, it's completely asinine.
Okay, well then just look at other countries that did take the 5 weeks and did do contact tracing, did do testing. The countries that took locking down seriously, and it wasn't piecemeal patchwork amongst different states. Look at all those countries and how they fared versus the United States. Look at Korea. Look at New Zealand. Look at all those countries.
The fact, I mean, literally, like I said, I live in the U.S. and I watched what happened with my own eyes, and the fact that we had big tents out in front of the hospital I live in front of, and they weren't used, and when there was that spike in the initial front end, but that was it, and nobody can control the spread of the virus. People still had to go to the grocery store. People still had to go to the gas station, and literally the policies did nothing. And then on top of that, the insane continued policy explicitly from Democrats with the don't go to school, kids have to wear a mask, policies like social distancing that were not even based in science, just an absurd amount
based in science
from the Democrats. No basis in science at all.
It literally was based in science. You're not going to spread disinformation here. I'm not allowing it.
Social distancing was based in science?
It was based in science.
No, it
because
wasn't.
They did. They took that. Okay, they took that. The fact that if someone
social distancing was based in science.
It was based in science.
No, it
because
wasn't.
They did. They took that. Okay, they took that. The fact that if someone Hey, Dr. Still, sorry to skip over you, Dean.
Yeah.
I'll be right with you, love. Hey, Dr. Still, the floor is yours, love.
Yeah, I absolutely
tap the screen,
love
guys.
roasting people with this. Okay, so, all right. The thing is that we started seeing resistant viruses that were not able to be easily treated at the end of, I think it was 2019, right? So in any public health policy, we have a plan, okay? Obama left a plan to be able to handle this. If you do not have a plan and you do not execute a plan properly, it is mass chaos. And that is literally what it was. Every single day we were getting new information, misinformation, and a lot of it had to do with Donald Trump. He was literally going on television telling people to inject bleach. If I hear ivermectin one more time, I'm going to scream. Okay? The amount of, and we were literally working, I was working 18-hour days because people were terrified. They did not know what to do every single day. Not to mention the fact that we were, that medical doctors, I'm not a medical doctor, but I work with them closely, were having to reuse PPEs. We are the wealthiest country, a superpower, reusing medical equipment that is supposed to be single use. And guess who is the leader? I don't care what you say about the governors. All the governors are looking to the president in a situation that is unprecedented. We did not know, but guess who did know before we knew? The president of the United States. And it is his responsibility. People's lives were lost. Millions of people's lives were lost unnecessarily.
No, they weren't.
Because
That's a lie.
yes. No, don't you dare.
Please don't be. Don't. Yeah.
Don't
People's lives
you
were lost
dare.
unnecessarily. Over a
People's
million
lives
people.
were, do you know, I would get phone calls in the middle of the night, people scared in the hospital because the doctors didn't know what the fuck to do. Do you understand the amount of stress and pressure? The shit rolls downhill and Trump isn't there to fucking do anything. It's the doctors, it's the nurses, it's the medical staff. You are so ignorant.
No, I live in a hospital. I'm there constantly.
Don't tell
I was
me you
there
live in
through
a,
C19.
then you would know MRSA. Then
I
you
was
would know
there
about
through
MRSA.
C19.
So that
And what you're saying is garbage.
and that
My
amount of
family's
people
not.
in a hospital with uncontrolled microbiology is dangerous. Hospitals have the highest infection rates. So don't give me that. You understand hospitals. You don't know shit
I'm not vaccinated.
about
My kids aren't
epidemiology, about
vaccinated,
microbiology.
and they're still C19.
You are not a
Oh
medical
no, let's
doctor.
go run
You
away
are not a
and hide.
virologist. You are
Let's
not
go
a
run away and
virologist.
hide.
You are not a virologist. Don't give me this germ theory versus terrain theory. Because if we had an effective president and effective leadership, public health could have done what we were trained to do. Because guess who gets the brunt of it? Public health.
So should I be
So
worried that
don't
I'm not
you
vaccinated?
dare
Should
tell
I run
me.
around and hide because I'm going to die today?
Look, things can be effectively handled if people are communicating and teams understand what needs to be done. When you have an incompetent leader who understands nothing about public health and lacks empathy, lacks respect, lacks humility. Do you understand? He was arguing. Look, I am not a Fauci fan at all. He is corrupt as hell, but he was arguing with somebody with 40 plus years of experience.
Yeah, the same
It's
guy said put 2
crazy.
masks on. Yeah, which was also crazy.
Oh my gosh. We did not know. What part of we did not know do you not understand? We don't know everything in medicine.
Literally in
We don't
hindsight.
know everything in healthcare.
In hindsight, I'm not vaccinated. My kids aren't vaccinated. They're still
Okay,
C19.
good for you.
I'm
That
not
is
running
your
around like a
choice.
chicken with my head cut
That
off.
is your choice.
I'm not gonna
Medical
die.
exemptions exist.
My kids aren't going to die.
Religious
Just like the
exemptions
majority of
exist.
Americans weren't gonna die.
Philosophical exemptions exist. But guess what? You can still wear a mask because it has been shown in studies to reduce the spread of infection because we know who carries diseases. Let's be real. I won't even go in that
C19 is
conversation.
concerned, show me
In
the
terms-
study. Bring it up on the screen because it doesn't
Excuse me?
exist.
What
It
study?
was
What
shit
study?
then,
About
it's shit
masks?
now.
Oh, there were several studies about masks that actually,
Yeah.
because, okay,
Bring 'em on.
literally,
Show them on.
if
got a
you
screen,
are
you got a big one.
reducing, if
Bring
you
'em
are
on there.
because, okay, look, you are the same people that do not wash your hands, okay, that do not wash your legs, okay, that
Okay.
have for
I don't wash my
centuries brought diseases to, and don't laugh, indigenous people, to
Oh,
black people,
Jesus,
diseases.
Wolfman. Come on. You're
Yes.
jumping to
Yes.
indigenous people and diseases? From a
Yes.
conversation with masks?
I'm sorry.
That's a little
Yes,
off topic,
because we're
don't you
talking
think?
we're talking about microorganisms, sir.
No,
we're talking about public
masks
health,
and
sir.
C19.
You don't
That was the
understand
topic.
public health.
That was the topic. And now you're talking about indigenous people.
Public
and
health,
disease?
because it's all related. Who, historically speaking, who brought the diseases over?
Historically speaking,
Who
we were talking about
unalived the
C19
indigenous
and
people?
masks. That's
Who
what we were
unalived the
talking about.
indigenous? Who didn't even know how to bathe and had to have the Moors assist them? Come on now.
Wow,
Do you know
is
what
that
the humors
wildly
are,
off
sir? Do
topic?
you know what the humors are? Do you know what the humors are? The humors are what the Europeans used to determine disease. It was if a person smelled or not.
Do you
Let's
have
be real.
like a
Do you
wolf reading
understand?
sheet?
Have you ever
Like you're just
seen
gonna go through all the
what
wolf
the
stuff?
original use of Lysol was, sir? Have you looked that up?
I want to talk about the science of this because he's saying that the mask didn't work. Yeah, the mask actually did work. All right.
They reduced
Yes.
No,
They,
show me the study.
Excuse
Please
me.
do.
I want you to not talk over me, especially as the host. All right. I want you to not do that. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Erica, can I just ask?
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, just I'd like you to do me a favor and just set the goalpost before he can move it. Scott, if Erica shows you the studies that show that masks were effective in reducing the spread, that social distancing was effective in reducing the spread, will you then change your opinion on the situation and agree that Donald Trump did drop the ball?
No, I'll say I'm wrong if there's a reputable study. Reputable.
Okay. So what would it have to be reputable? I want the goalpost set before Erica wastes her time.
It's pretty large. I'm not going to be nitpicky on that at all, by no means.
Okay, perfect. I'll mute. Go ahead, Erica. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So this actual information comes from this actually came from CBS. So now what I'm looking for is a full study for you to show. All right. That the N95 mask did reduce the transmission of COVID-19 by 95% when used properly. I'm going to get that study for you.
Please do, but 98% of the population never had N95. I had one. I work in public service. I know what N95 is. It was personally
There
fitted
were
to
also
me.
other masks that people could use. I believe the other one was a K95, if I read it correctly. Yeah, a KN95 and surgical mask. All right. All right. The ones that weren't effective were the cloth mask. Once they learned, because again, they did not know how to handle this. All right. So
Well,
they were
surgical and
learning.
cloth.
I'm sorry. Okay. Jesus friggin' Christ. Once they knew that the cloth mask, like the ones we were getting from like Old Navy and Target and Walmart and so on and so forth, weren't effective, they told us to stop using them. And then they told us what to actually use because they saw, all right, through review and research that the surgical mask, the KN95s, and most of all the N95s worked better in preventing the transmission of C19. I am going to find you a study and we'll go over that study. So therefore, like Dan said, you won't be able to move the goalposts because you've already started to push it a little bit.
No,
right?
as long as
so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give the floor to Dean because he's been sitting here. So and he's been patient. So Dean, the floor is yours, love. Thank you. Oh, I'll send you a request to unmute. Oh, you're already unmuted. Yay, go ahead. Oh, someone muted you. They were trying to send you a request. Dean, you can come off mute.
Why are you always trying to mute me, Erica?
I don't know. It wasn't me that time. It was a mod. Blame it on the mods. Right.
I know your mods don't like me. I know it.
They have whole
Especially Hector and
conversations about
Naquan.
you.
But
they have whole conversations about you.
I know.
Just kidding.
Probably got a whole Discord channel. Someone I can't get into. No, I was just the thing that I was going to come up for was already kind of passed. But when he was talking about the TCJA, we were already in a manufacturing recession by 2019. We had lost over 170,000 manufacturing jobs because of the problems in that bill that incentivized some businesses to take business out of the country and to shut down certain plants. Hell, that Foxconn plant that Trump was so proud of trying to open up in Wisconsin never really opened up. It was supposed to have like 10,000 jobs. It ended up having like 40 total jobs at that plant or that facility. So a lot of the things that he bragged about happening from the TCJA never even happened. And then you bring in C-19, and the other things that led from that. There was no huge benefit that he promised from that bill.
Scott, you can respond.
No, I'd agree. Foxconn was a disappointment because I actually live in Wisconsin, so that's obviously where Foxconn was supposed to be, and both Trump and Walker, I believe, kind of touted that, and it never happened. So, I mean, that's obviously true. But I think, generally speaking, I like the policy and the philosophy from the GOP versus the Democrats. Right, less regulation, less taxes equals future growth versus more regulations and higher
But it never
taxes are
has.
somehow going to be better.
It never has, though. We have 50 years of trickle-down economics, supply-side economics data now, and it never has produced jobs at the rate it's supposed to. It never has helped the middle and working class. It never has done any of those things.
Well, you should feel confident then in the next 3 years that obviously the Democrats will take over everything because the economy is going to be in such ruins, right?
Just so we're clear, usually what ends up happening is the economy is in ruins at the start of a Democratic administration, and then by the time they fix it, Americans totally forget about how bad everything was. We saw this with Obama when he had to fix the mess that Bush left him. We saw this with Biden when he had to fix the mess that Trump left him. So even if Trump does crash the economy, I'm not, and I'm sure Dean's not excited that a Democrat's going to pick it up, because once again, all of the knuckle draggers and window lickers are going to say, "Oh, but look how bad inflation is," or "Oh, look how bad blah blah blah. Look how bad the economy has been for the past whatever," even though it was caused by a Republican. You can trace back so many economic crises to the actions of Ronald Reagan and to the actions of Republicans, deficit spending, to the actions of Republicans, cutting taxes for the wealthy. It's all right there. Also, I have a study for you.
I have one too.
Oh, okay.
I do. I have one too. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. This is from the National Institute of Health.
What year?
Oh my God, what year? Oh my God, it's so fucking funny. Okay, what year? This was published December 6th of 2023.
Okay, that's good.
I'm glad it meets your requirements.
Well, I was going to say if it was right at the very beginning of C-19, and then it'd be like, nah, that was the whole idea.
Anywho, what they found is that in the estimated risk reduction, all right, so what they found is that the N95/FFP2 respirators had a 96% reduction rate. Surgical mask came in at 77%, which they concluded to be moderate protection, better than cloth mask, but less than N95. Cloth mask reduced transmission by 54%. Yeah. So there's that. And again, this is from the National Institute of Health. So mask, in fact, did help reduce the transmission of COVID-19. It did. What happened was you all are so fucking individualistic and selfish that you couldn't stand to be inconvenienced to save the lives of your fucking neighbors, of even your family members. Like, seriously, that's all that it was. That's literally all that it was. Absolute selfishness. All you had to do was wear a mask. That is it. To save a fucking life, wear a mask. So many people unalive, not just due to the ineptitude of the president of the United States, literally putting the responsibility in the hands of 50 different fucking people who all had 50 different fucking ideas on how to handle it. Like, be so for real. When all he had to do was keep the playbook that the previous administration left to him. All he had to do was not lie to the American people and tell us that it wasn't serious. That's all he had to do. All he had to do was be a fucking leader and listen to the scientists, listen to the doctors. I don't know what world you live in, Scott, where you think that science is automatic. Science takes testing. Science takes time. And the thing is, Donald Trump didn't give us time. He did not give the doctors, the scientists, the professionals. He didn't give them time. But he gave himself time because he knew about it in October of 2019 when people started dying from it overseas. He knew about it. He did. He fucking failed as a leader when it came to C-19. And you failed as a human being because you felt too fucking inconvenienced to wear a mask. There were literally people who were asymptomatic walking around as fucking incubators of COVID, not showing any symptoms, but spreading the disease. People died from this. And for you to sit here and deny that COVID didn't have, like, COVID had the impact that it had, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I really don't. It's kind of pissing me off, to be perfectly honest with you.
Can I please explain it?
Could you please explain it? Okay, go ahead. Please explain it.
So, I mean, first off, your study is, okay, I'll accept it as fact.
You have no choice but to accept it as fact. It comes from a reputable source. It's the National Institute of Health. What are you talking about?
Okay. Well, 1% of the population had access to an N95 mask, if you're lucky, right? You had to be personally fitted for that mask.
Wait, no, really quick. I'm so sorry. Even in the study, the worst masks were still reducing the spread by 50-something%.
54.
Okay, so 54. Thank you, Erica. So, so yes, you're right. Early in the pandemic, very few people had access to N95s. That does not mean that the other masks weren't worth wearing. Like,
well,
I get
by your logic, we could all wear masks today and we would stop all sickness, right? We should all wear a mask and the flu would be
such
gone.
a fucking fallacy. That's a slippery slope
we all
right
can live
there.
happily ever
That's
after.
literally a slippery slope, and you know that's a fallacy
that's
in your
'cause it's
argument.
garbage in the
No,
first place.
it
This
is.
premise
No,
is
it's
garbage.
not.
Yeah,
no,
it
it's not. It's literally not. You have the science. You asked for the science. We knew that you weren't going to believe it, that you were going to fucking sea lion. I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that.
Accept it as fact.
I knew you were. No, you can't say that you accept it as fact and then say something as asinine as, I guess we all can wear masks and we'll only wear masks, we won't transmit any disease. Like, you can't say that. Don't be fucking
Why not?
stupid. Don't be
Are
obtuse.
you not going to kill you? You're not wearing a mask today is not going to kill people. What are you doing? You should be wearing a mask today. You're not going to transfer any diseases.
No,
you might
Scott,
kill your
Scott, you're still doing it. You're still doing it, Scott.
I mean, literally, we're still living with C-19, aren't we?
No, you are, Scott. You are still doing it. You're going this hard line, like you said. It's this C-line slip your slope bullshit. Well, we can eliminate everything. No, we're never going to eliminate every disease for everything just by wearing masks. Everybody knows that. That is
but
not
you're
what
going to
the
make the
argument is.
case
And you're being
somehow we're
completely
bad people for not wearing a mask.
Scott,
but yet you can walk around today with not a mask.
Scott,
and you're not killing people, but 4 years ago we were
Dean
killing
was
people.
talking.
Come on,
Dean.
That you know better.
Scott, I don't even like you, and I don't want your senses to start touching mine because that's giving me the icks. Okay.
And
I
after
don't like
Dean, Dr. Still, you got the floor after Dean. Go ahead, Dean.
But I see this all the time with whatever the topic is. When somebody brings facts in, then it becomes, oh well, we're going to just eliminate everything by doing what you said, and it's not. That's not what the argument ever is. The argument is that it could have been mitigated seriously if they had just followed the pandemic playbook that the Obama administration had left them. I mean, hell, do you remember the Ebola outbreak back in, what was it, 2012, 2013, something like that?
It
Like
was 2014. Was,
2014. I knew it was early second term for him, but 12 people in the United States unalive. And the right went nuts because he didn't protect us and he let Ebola into the country. Well, the reason why only 12 people unalive in this country is because he had people on the ground in Africa screening people before they left on flights to the United States, and one person managed to get through, and people at that airport were infected. Those are the people that unalived. Trump took all those people that were screening for C-19 and doing all the pre-screenings, all the everything before it got to the country. He took them and fired all of them. And it was like, okay, because it's a China virus. It's China. Because he was so xenophobic that he had to blame it on somebody after he fucked it up. I mean, hell, initially he praised China for how well they were handling it over there. But once it got to the United States and it was his ass, all of a sudden it was everybody else's fault.
Bring her up, hey, hi.
So I will hand off to Dr. Steele, but I just, this constant, race to the edge of everything is just ridiculous. You've got to stop that.
It really is. I agree with you, Dean. Dr. Steele, the floor is yours, and then Scott, you can respond.
So, Scott, you said that you are familiar with hospitals, correct?
Thank you.
Correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so what is your familiarity with hospitals in terms of infection control?
Infection control?
In a hospital?
Infection control in the hospital? Well,
yeah, how do you reduce infection control in a hospital?
Well, obviously cleaning.
And how do you clean?
Disinfectant.
What kind of disinfectant?
Antibacterial.
Wrong. What about with bloodborne pathogens?
Same process, same cleaning.
No, absolutely. Oh my God. This is why I say a public health crisis. Public health crisis. Okay, so it is, so that already disproves that you have no understanding of how things transmute, which is incredibly scary. Please do not, right? MRSA is, in one of my degrees, I can't remember, I did a whole paper around MRSA and infection control and how it is such an issue. That's why when you want to get in and get out in the hospital, right? You don't want to be in there and it be overloaded and overpacked, because guess what's going to happen? You're just going to keep mutating all kinds of different bugs. And clearly you do not have an understanding in epidemiology, in virology. That's why we have experts. Do you understand?
You asked two questions, and I said cleaning was the solution. So what part of that did I get wrong other than antibacterial?
OSHA would.
What part of the? I'm so sorry. What part of the hospital do you work in? Like, what department?
OSHA, please.
What department do you work in? Like, I'm not asking you the hospital. What department is it that you work in at the hospital?
I think I asked the last question. What did I get wrong?
No.
She's over there mocking me.
No, she's not mocking you. She was actually answering, but I am curious. No, because even if he was a janitor at the hospital, he still would know the sanitizing process. He still would know, guys. He still would know. So that's why I'm asking you, Scott. Which department is it?
I asked her a specific. What did I get wrong?
Is it a cafeteria? If it's a cafeteria, it's cool.
What did I get wrong?
Dr. Steele?
Once again, no response.
Yeah. So, you can do your research, you can do your research. It is not my job to educate you. Black women's labor is not free. Link in the Bible.
So you just want to say I'm wrong, but not actually prove it. That's a great idea.
Well, I don't have to.
Well, it sounds like you can't.
The educated people in the chat immediately picked up on what I was talking about. There are nurses, there are doctors, there are professionals in these chats. Like, we are not, here's the issue, right? How is it that you think that you know better than people that have trained their entire lives? When the COVID pandemic happened, I literally was cleaning. I brought in a professional cleaning crew, took out everything. It cost me thousands of dollars, but I did it because that is public health protocol. We made sure we went virtual. I only went to my house and back. Like, there are precautions that we must take to reduce spread of viruses that we don't know. Viruses can be very deadly. Do you want to know why viruses can be very deadly?
Because there's no really good treatments for them.
And why else? Because you're a top virologist now. So Dr. Scott, please let me know why they can be so deadly or unaliving, sorry.
I just said because of the lack of treatment options.
You said why else?
Why else? Yeah, why else?
Well, that's the primary one.
No, it's because people are unprepared. People are not taught how to keep themselves well in this country because we have a sick care system. And guess what? Donald Trump took $100 million from the pharmaceutical industry. Project Warp Speed, does that ring a bell to you?
It does. I don't like it. I don't like what it produced.
He's complicit. So don't even start with me.
I'm not starting with you.
I can speak it on both sides. I remember when RFK actually had a conscience. No longer. He sold his soul. So if that's the hopes and dreams that you're holding on to, forget it. He just wants to pay his mortgage. He could care
I guess
less.
I don't know what side you fall on. The mRNA vaccine, are you pro or against?
It's not that I'm pro or against. It's about informed consent. Do you understand? This is why we have scientists. This is why we have researchers. We don't work in a vacuum. There is no doctor on this planet that knows everything. We have to work in collaboration and communication. And that is what Donald Trump doesn't want. He wants a dictatorship. He has no education in public health. He has no education in medicine. He has no education in any of these things. Look, he eats McDonald's all the time, okay? He literally, when has he drank water? Have you ever seen him drink water? He goes on the little cart when he's golfing, okay? I mean, his literal faculties are like, he is not the pillar of health that you would be looking up to. He looks like a Teletubby, for crying out loud. And he looked like that in the 90s. Like, come on.
How many years do you have to live in order to say that you succeeded?
Sir, what is his metabolic health at this point? What is his waistline at this point?
Does it matter at that age?
Is that the man bod that you're looking for? Not to shame, man bods and dad bods and all that stuff, but come on now.
Does it matter to your late 80s?
In public health, you are literally teaching people how to be healthy. That is what public health is about. It's about keeping the community healthy. Do you think that Donald Trump exhibits any sort of health that we should be listening to him or RFK or any of these old, decaying YT men about our health? Maybe for yourself, if that's what you're into.
Other than the
But I am
generic
not.
statements you've made, you've actually made no sense at all.
Oh, here we go. Now it's the Kamala salad. It's the same old song and dance. You literally deflect and do not want to listen to Black educated women. I'm done.
Well, you used a couple of big words and Heather probably confused him. I mean, it's not his fault.
Big words, generic statements.
I also want to ask you, do you know how long mRNA technology has been around?
Oh, since the 80s, probably?
It was like the early 90s is when it really first started being studied for different things, and it was hoped to be a treatment for cancer, but it never really has worked as a treatment. As a vaccine in different situations is promising, but it was a technology that was already there, basically waiting for something that was ripe to be used for.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm
I
well
wanted
aware.
to say
I'm well aware
something.
that it never fucking works.
Okay. All right, I wanted to say something because a Black woman did pay for my labor. So shout out to Shauna for the $10. Love you, Shauna. Drop some hearts in the chat for Shauna for closing out the daily donation goal. And Dr. Still did answer your question, Scott. All right, she answered your question.
No, she never did. She avoided it at all costs.
I'm sorry. I'm
That's all
sorry.
she
I'm
had to
sorry. I'm
say
sorry.
was,
I'm sorry.
I don't need to
I'm sorry.
educate
You're
you.
right. I'm gonna answer your question. That's right, because you asked her were you wrong. You were wrong because cleaning is not the answer. There's a process that you actually have to go through. All right, and we're gonna go over the process for airborne pathogens. All right. For airborne pathogens, you have to do ventilation, filtration. You can use the ultraviolet lights, and also you want to use chemical disinfection methods to actually get rid of and clean is what you want to do. So the only part that you got right was the clean part, and you didn't even break that part down. So I really want to know. I really, really want to know. And it's also a continuous process, by the way. You don't just do it once, you continuously do it. So,
Yes.
Scott, what department of your hospital do you work in?
So you forgot one, though. You forgot about negative pressure.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
department
You forgot.
of your hospital do
You
you
didn't come
work
up with
in?
that one. So you better re-Google that.
Which department of your hospital do you work in?
You better spend some more time on the computer in front of you.
Also, negative pressure actually isn't even listed here.
Well, it should
I'll
be.
read out the full thing for you.
Google
But guess
it. Tell me
what?
if
You're
it's part of the
still
hospital.
not answering the question.
Google it and tell me
Because
if it's
wouldn't
part of
that
the
be a
hospital.
part of the ventilation process, though? The negative pressure? That wouldn't be a part of the ventilation process?
No, ventilation talks about removing air. The
Okay.
pressure in the room talks about things falling to the ground, essentially, with a negative pressure.
Yeah, that's definitely ventilation. Anywho, Scott, which department of the hospital do you work in, babes?
None ya.
Yeah, I knew you weren't going to tell us because your ass works in the cafeteria. That's why. Hey, guys, listen here real quick. All right. We are super close, super duper close. All right. To 350,000 likes. And we have our manifestation goal. I think after a few pieces of shit that we've had tonight, and I'm just being honest, I'm going to call it how I see it. All right. I'm just calling it how I see it. After what we experienced tonight, we had a COVID denier. We also had a person who definitely was steep in the MAGA cult. So there's that. Godly Jesus. And it was, what was the other person? I can't even remember now. It was just a lot. It's been a lot. If y'all want to decompress with me and do the thing, all right, we have those two things to do. The manifestation goal along with getting us up to 350,000 likes. And then, yeah, we can do the thing, guys. We can do the thing. We can do the thing. But this guy, like, I realized about Trump supporters, I'm going to step on my soapbox for like 35 seconds because this is my juke joint. With Trump supporters, they don't want to talk about the present. It's always about the past with them, right? Because they know that presently Donald Trump is fucking some shit up. Donald Trump is fucking some shit up. Do you guys know how we got here? We got here simply because Dan was explaining to him how Donald Trump's economic actions, because they're not policies, how Donald Trump's economic actions caused the Q1 of 2025. I knew you were going to do it. I knew you were going to do it. God dang it. Damn it, I said it high too. Thank you so much, Bringer of Pain. Drop some hearts in the chat for Bringer of Pain, guys. Drop some hearts in the chat for Bringer of Pain. I appreciate you, love. I guess, okay, guys, 10,000, 9,000 more likes to go, and we're going to get the pickle. But yeah, he was telling you how we got to 2024, not 2020, 2025, quarter one GDP constricting by 0.5%. That's how we got here. So instead of talking about the economy, all right, and how Donald Trump is actually putting the U.S. on the road to a recession, you want to talk about the fact that Dan mentioned COVID-19. That's what you want to talk about. You don't want to talk about the present. You literally want to stay in the past because it's easier for you to stay in the past and argue the minutia of it than to talk about what is presently happening in the United States of America. How our stock market is supposedly performing at the highest levels that it ever has. Baby, it's bouncing back. Because what ends up happening is that it dips so low, and then what happens is Donald Trump makes another action, especially in regards to tariffs, that he sparks the excitement again, and then it bounces back. So it's just playing a rebound game every single time he talks about tariffs. And like Dan said, it's very true. We saw the worst of it in April. And then again in May, it was like, okay, all right, it's going to bounce back again because Donald Trump reneged. And then he did the same thing in June. He did the same thing in July. So now the market's used to this uncertainty. It's getting used to it. Literally, it's getting used to it. Because they know nothing is going to come from it because it's fucking Donald Trump. I just want you, like, Scott, talk about the present. Stop living in the fucking past.
Well, I would love to talk about the present.
Please talk about the present.
So,
Hold on. I want to tell you something really quick. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm so sorry to do that to you, but I do want to tell you something. I want to tell you something.
And I don't hate you.
Right.
I just hate all of the choices that you make because those are the choices that bitch ass niggas make.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
That's all. That's all. Guys, we did it. We're at 350,000 likes. Let's go. Yay. Yay. W's in the chat for me. Draw some hearts. Draw some hearts in the chat for me. Yay. Whew. All right. Hey, are you guys sticking around for pickle time? 2 songs max, I promise.
Oh, I'll stick around. I've never been on the panel for pickle time. I'm excited.
You got to turn your camera on and you got to be a potato because you're the potato band.
Oh
Is
my
Kiana here?
Oh my goodness.
Dr. Steele, are you going to do pickle time? I'm going to
So
invite Kiana. I want to see if Kiana want to be a potato tonight.
What are the requirements of said pickle time? I don't think I've ever stuck around.
You got to
for
do
pickle.
that. You got to do that. You got to turn your camera on and you have to be a potato. You can be really any filter you want to be. It's just that like the potato band is the potato band. So the potato band.
Is there like a filter that does it?
Yeah.
Yep.
You have an Android or Apple?
I have an Apple.
Okay, cool. So go to your camera. All right. You're going to turn it on. And then like when you look at the effects, you should see a search bar and just type in potato and then boom, you could be a potato.
Oh my God.
Dan, I need you to be a potato. Dan, your lead potato tonight.
I really should have gotten off like 25 minutes ago.
Mac is going to be so jealous, dude.
And she's going to be upset that I'm up this late. I'm supposed to be fixing my sleep cycle.
Oh, why did you say that earlier? I would have been like, bye. Shauna, you're not in the request. I don't know. Where are you?
He said 2 songs max.
2 songs.
No,
max.
I gotta go.
Dan is running from pickle time. I want this to go down in history because he knows for a fact that 2 songs are going to turn into 20. You're a smart man, Dan. You're a smart man. Thank you so very much for coming up, Dan. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much for having me up. And everyone have a great night.
Dan, it's always a pleasure.
Yes, you as well. Everyone have a great night, except that Scott guy. I hope he steps on Legos. All right,
exactly. Good night, Dan. Hope you get some rest. All right. Hearts in the chat for Dan, guys. Hearts in the chat for Dan. All right. Shauna!
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
I can't remember what you put in the chat. You put like a hum or something. I can't remember what you did. Oh, I only have 10% left on my phone, guys. So we got to hurry up. Everybody, potato up, guys.
Potato up, hold on.
All right, let me say bye-bye to YouTube. Okay, YouTube, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you all. Thank you again so very much for the love, the support, the kindness, and the engagement. I hope you all have a fantastic night. We're going to do it again tomorrow because I am taking Friday off to go do hood rat stuff with my friends. All right, so All right. We're going to do it again tomorrow. All right. And then we'll be back.